I know I said about 8 and I went a little over. I got a little better at pushing my 15-minute tactical out to an hour though. But so for anybody that has come in, this being their first Zoom, you are not obligated to stay past this point if you do not want. I want to respect everybody's time, especially on a weekday, especially on a Thursday, and especially if you're on the East Coast and it's getting late for you as well. Um, but typically what I end up doing is shifting into a Q&A portion slash after hours is what it usually ends up turning into. So we're kind of heading into that nightcap portion of the Zoom, and I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware, so I didn't have anybody sitting around for another half an hour and be like, "Well, why did I just sit here for a half an hour when he hasn't even spoken about that anymore?" All right. Did anybody have anything that they wanted to add for what was going? Oh, excuse me, for what was going over today?
Hi, brother James.
Hey, how we doing, brother?
If I will say honestly, I was inside my blanket right now. It it's 6 a.m. 6 or 7 a.m. morning for me. Yes. So
Dude, it's awesome that you got to push yourself too, to get up a little bit earlier as well.
yes, and when your session started, it was 5 or 5:30 a.m. morning. You know, so that yes, like I really loved everything. Whatever, like whenever you start speaks, there is always values in your words. So I really loved that again, brother. One thing I would like to like request you to focus on, like you use the word like I don't know for which for what you mentioned that the elevate, like so. Uh, I believe like it's in the sense of building teams and like separating the tasks and elevating it to the next level after delegating to someone, right?
Yeah. There's
Yes.
there's another a term for it that way if you think about elevate. So the way that I used it earlier was the do it, delegate it to lead it. But there is something within the model, and it's another thing that I'm going to be going over in the program as well. Is delegate to elevate, and mm, I've heard many people speak about it. Um, but I've also heard many people speak about it in the wrong fashion. It's not about just kind of pushing things off to people so you don't have to do something. There's actually an entire process that you go through. Like there's a whole exercise that you end up going through when you do reach that point in your business to understand like what you need to be delegating because you have to understand
Yep.
why you're delegating things. Because if you don't understand why
Yes.
you're delegating something, then you're just kind of coming in being that pushy boss.
So, like the doubt I have because you know my
No
objective.
doubts. No doubts.
Yes. So, brother, like when I am going to delegate something to someone, and my like behind the curtain, my goal is to just elevate everything. So, uh, like for like last 2 days after our conversation, I was very like passionate about finding the things to work on my aim, and I was looking for SOPs and all those things on onboarding. So when I have found the role like hey I'm just going to hire this one. So what would be the best option to get those and how I can get the SOPs and onboarding for this
Hmm.
for any particular role?
That's So that's a little bit further down the line when it comes to SOPs. And I don't believe that you made it to the last couple of Zooms, but I did give you the clarity break and I gave you the momentum worksheet. What's interesting about those is you got to understand the core processes that are in your business. And like I said, you got to treat your life the same way. If you were to take the clarity break and you were to take the momentum worksheet and you were to pair those together, technically that is an SOP for yourself. So that's the way that you kind of think about it. When you're building a business right now and you're looking for, if depending on what you're looking for, if you're looking for a partner, you're looking for higher level people in your business, you don't have to have a full like detailed, like you don't have to sit there and write an entire book over these next couple of days, for an entire SOP and then have like your full business SOP outlined and out there. Just figure out what the core things are in your business that you need to move the needle forward. So, like, if you know that you want to wholesale, what are the 5 things that need to be done in order for you to do a wholesale deal? And there's your 5 core processes. Boom,
Okay.
you have a basic business SOP right there.
Oh, so I need just this. I just need
Oh,
this.
what's that?
I just need these things. Only 5 things to note down and start working on.
No, that was an example. So, like, if you were to take a look at what you wanted to do in your business, and you're like, I want to wholesale a deal, and there's 5 big things that have to happen from like this has to happen, then this, then this, then this, and then this in order for me to wholesale that deal,
Hmm.
then that's your basic business SOP. You already know what your 5 core processes are.
Okay. So when in first position, like you are just like first of all for hiring you have to send the like job description. You have to post it somewhere to
Oh
attract
yeah.
the people. So the job description would be the SOP or blueprint or like
No. The job description is who you're looking for to bring into your business. What's the role? What role are you putting that person in? What does that entail? It's not necessarily an SOP. Like if you want to bring a uh, cold caller in,
hmm,
you're going to put the basic function of their role on the job description, and you're going to state who you're looking for. You're going to state it if okay. So I use the example on my video that the Zoom that I did on it. I used the operations manager for an example. Um, And I can get the a copy of like the post or the job description that we put out so you can read it over and to be able to actually take a look at it and see like some of the psychological things behind the way that it was actually built out. It wasn't
yes
built
sir.
out by the SOP. The job description was built out by who we wanted to bring in our business, what seat they sat, like what their role is, what
Hmm,
they were doing or what they are going to do and what they're not going to do. Now, the reason I used operations manager is because that's what we brought on. But most people, when they bring an operations manager in, it's because your first thought is it's a high level, person, high level seat in your business. They tend to be looking for a unicorn or they tend to be looking for somebody that's basically going to do everything for them. Now, we saw
hmm,
some of the bottlenecks because we understood our core processes. So we knew how the business actually had to flow and navigate, and we started seeing and understanding like, well, if we have the operations manager underwriting, that's taken a lot of their time away from dealing with the properties after we agree that we want to buy it.
hmm,
So why would I have my operations manager do something that's wasting 16 hours of their time? So boom, we hired an underwriter, and then we put in the job description, you don't need to underwrite. You know how many the people that I spoke to that applied for that position, how ecstatic they were when they saw that they didn't have to underwrite? But it's just basically that. If you're putting a job description out, yeah. What's the role that you're looking for? What type of person are you looking for? What type of team dynamic are you looking to put together? What are they doing? And if they're doing something that does require a lot, and you want to put two people in there, then you can put in one of the job descriptions, like, you don't have to worry about doing this, this, and this to make it a little more appealing. But yeah, no, you don't put the SOP in the job description.
Oh, so thank you so much. And
Yeah.
SOP would be the thing I will send, like I like after getting their like application, I will send SOP. Like let's suppose I have decided like, hey, this is the guy I fitting to my like requirements, and I'm just going to move forward with him. And
If
like
is
I
this a
have
higher
heard about,
level? Is a higher level person?
yes, for higher level person.
Yeah, they're gonna help you put the SOPs together then.
So this would be like the first step after like qualifying them for my role, like
Yeah.
send the SOP.
No, they're gonna
Okay.
help you if you're bringing a high level person into your business. Like
Hmm.
so, in our business, remember earlier I said we have marketing and strategic planning, we have operations, and we have business relations, and then we have
Hmm.
integrator and visionary. Those are the main seats. The functional roles are the day to day in the business. The functional roles are the marketing and strategic planning, the operations, and the business management. So I have an SOP on how, at a higher level where I would sit, in that high seat. I have the basic core processes and SOP on how my business is running. When I bring the operations manager in,
Hmm.
she's going to see that I'm bringing her in to help build out that component of my business. So why would I dictate what she's doing in my business if I'm bringing her on to help us build that out? You know, if I'm
Oh.
bringing somebody on that has a degree in business operations, who's experienced at doing this, there's things that I haven't done in that compartment. Who am I to dictate how they need to do their job if I'm bringing somebody in at a higher level? Because I want that person's going to be my direct report from that, compartment of the business. So I can hand
Exactly.
her a bunch of SOPs, I can hand her a bunch of training materials, but she's probably going to know better and faster ways to do things, which means what? She's going to be tailoring the SOPs. Now, if she knows of a faster and better way to do something that eliminates an entire SOP, then I wasted time making that SOP.
Oh, yeah. So, like you mean, if I'm going for higher positions, then most probably I don't need to do all those bullshits from like by
No,
my
you
own.
you just need to have an understanding of where you're going, what your business is, and what your business is doing. If you're collecting people in the higher level, you're collecting those people for their skills, their knowledge and understanding.
Hmm.
So let's take for example, even on our team, like Haley, she right now, because we don't have a team built out under her yet, and she doesn't have a direct report. But on the partner level, she spearheads the marketing and strategic planning. Do you think I understand marketing to a T? No, not at all. And I don't even try to pretend that I do, and I don't even play in there. That's her role and that's her thing. And I don't rate out, like, I don't dictate what she's doing to handle that compartment. But yeah, I helped you build a
Oh.
bot though, but you're the one that came to me telling me what you needed it for. So could digress on that argument. But I don't sit there and tell her, like, okay, so you're the head of the marketing department. Now you need to market this way and you need to go do this, this, and this. No, that's her role. That's why she's there. That's the role. That's what she plays in the business. She's going to come back to me and say, hey, from my experience, my knowledge, my understanding, this is what this market looks like. So we need to make sure that we're doing XYZ in order to be able to hit the parameters that we need to be hitting. And I'm like, okay, perfect, fine. Get it in writing, write it down, build out your overall process. And now she can go start putting together a team underneath her. So she's going to bring on a direct report. So the direct report that she brings on is going to be what? Another high level person in a high level seat. So she's going to have a foundation that she can hand off to that person, work with that person closely. And that person's going to know there's going to be things in the marketing department that that person is extremely experienced in, and they're going to know a little bit more than she does. So it allows, like, when you're bringing the high level people in, you're building out your leadership team.
Yes.
So
So
you want to
like
make
this is
sure, yeah, sorry,
yeah,
go ahead,
yeah,
brother.
brother. This is exactly what I was doing mistake there, because I was I am looking to build the SOPs for each and every role by my own, and then I will just delegate it to them. Like, hey, go and do this task. So this is what
Nope.
I was doing mistake. I understand now.
So let me ask you, do you feel as though you're a visionary or an integrator?
What, brother?
Do you feel as though you're a visionary or an integrator? If we're speaking high level in your business, do you know the difference between the two or understand the difference between the two?
Oh, as per the visionary and integrator, I can understand like visionaries are the person who have the blueprints in their mind and they have thought how the things gonna work.
Yeah,
Yeah, and integrator are those who gonna apply those things in the real life, right?
yeah. They're going to connect, they're going to bridge the gap between the physical business to the mind of the visionary. Which
Yes.
department do you feel you sit in?
For now, I'm definitely a visionary.
Okay. So why are you building out? Why are you wanting to build out SOPs within the compartments in the business when you should be looking for somebody that can come in and counter you to be able to make sure that's happening.
Yeah, you're right. Definitely. So, like, let's
So
suppose.
now think of it this way. How much time did you spend this week? Because it's been almost a week since we spoke. How much time did you spend this week hung up on that, trying to curate SOPs and the job postings?
You can the day I had conversation with you like 3 or 4 days back.
3 or 4 days
Uh,
back, yeah. Between
yes,
then and
and
now, how much time have you spent focusing on trying to understand how to put together an SOP because you
at
felt that
least
that's what you need to do?
at least 15 hours.
15 hours? Okay.
Yes.
So if you were to go have conversations with people for that 15 hours to bring somebody in to your business that's going to help you handle that, what are you going to do with that 15 hours a week that you got back?
I am speechless. I like I'm thinking like this was my mistake. You know.
Hey, that's okay. You got to make mistakes. We've all been there. I've been there. Trust me.
Brother.
It's part of the process.
Yes, and like one more thing, I was in dilemma about I was thinking like for onboarding is a thing like people use as a training material, right? For someone they are going to hire.
Why are you going to train somebody that you're bringing into a high level position in your business? If you're looking for somebody that has those skills, why do you need to train them?
I'm again, I
That's
don't know
not your
what to
job.
say.
If you're the visionary and that's the role that you're sitting in, that's not you shouldn't be doing any of that.
So you are like bringing someone, and right after you have to like put them on their work.
Okay.
Like
That's
I
the
was
whole reason you
asking.
brought them in. If you're looking for a high level person in a high level seat in your business and you're speaking to somebody that is skilled at something,
Yes.
why would they not be able to start working? Why would you have to train them? Tim, I saw your hand raised.
Can I ask, are you working on the standard operating procedures for your accountant for your business?
For my accountant?
Are you, so what? So Shawat? I don't know
Yeah.
how to pronounce your name,
Yes,
but
sir. Yeah.
are you trying to create standard operating procedures for your accountant?
No. Like I'm looking for my higher
It's the same
positions.
thing.
Yeah.
Like
It's
your
the yeah.
accountant, your CPA that does the tax accounting for your firm, you wouldn't write their standard operating procedures because they're supposed to be an expert that knows how to do their job. They should already know how to do accounting. And if you have to teach them how to do accounting, then you should open a school.
Yeah.
I
Or you should
agree.
ask yourself, do you have the right person in the right seat in your business?
Right. So what is
Especially if you're
Exactly.
going high level.
now, if you're not actually hiring for high level positions and these are just entry level positions, then yeah, you do want to have standard operating procedures in place to show them. And there you may have some standard operating procedures just for the intake process and onboarding, where unless you're hiring someone that's HR and then they're going to help you write the if human relations employee manager for your company is going to help you write those standard operating procedures. But if you don't have a human relations department, then you might have some standard operating procedures that you've written just to make sure that you've completed the onboarding process, got all the
Yeah.
tax documents, payment, everything set up for them. But largely, if high level employees, they should come and they should bring a wealth of knowledge and experience to the business so that you don't have to do it. You're buying back your time.
Exactly.
Yep. And in my humble opinion, and you can tell me to shut up at any point. I'm totally fine with that. um, I personally feel as though, because I know I did as well. So people get too hung up when it comes to drafting an SOP. So you know what an SOP is realistically? It's a
Yep, yep.
list. It's a list.
Mm.
It's literally just a checklist. It's like, okay, the title of the SOP is the outcome, and here are a couple of things that need to be done to reach that outcome. So if you're just starting out, a list will suffice. And as you're building, you have an integrator, start bringing in the VAs and things like that. Then you have people that are working on actually like really setting those in stone and making them look professional. But yeah,
Yes. So here.
as it stands right now, dude, it's just a list. Remember I said, figure out the 5 things that you need to do to get a deal done and
Hmm.
write the list down of those 5 things that you just created your basic SOP.
Exactly. Now I understand completely, and I was actually just wasting my time on all those things.
That's okay.
I I,
You know
I
how many
got it
hours
now.
I've wasted? You know how many hours I've wasted for the last few years? It happens. Part of the process. We all do it. Everybody starts somewhere. My
Yes,
first
yes.
my first year, man, I look back on it, I'm like, man, I wasted like 80, 90 hours a week. George is right, fail forward. But the important thing is,
Yes.
and you're doing it right, is you're showing up and you're asking questions and you're actually trying to figure it out and understand it.
Yes, like this is just, this is forcing me to like accomplish the task as soon as possible because I'm very like hungry to like fulfill that post because
Okay.
I think every time I'm feeling about that, it sounds like to me like, hey, this is the thing which is pulling me back to accomplish my goals. So as quick as possible, I need to fulfill this place. So there would be no any options for me to like fail, most probably.
Yeah. So that's the whole point of This
Yes.
worksheet, it's the whole point of the other two worksheets, is so that you can actually break it down. You can visibly see in front of you what are the action steps that you have to take that are actually going to get you to your goal, because you're going to think about it while you're writing it down, and you're going to have it sitting in front of you. So I can almost guarantee nobody in here is going to put 30 minutes of playing video games in their, 5 daily non-negotiables when they want to be a successful, multi-business owner. So you already have a basis to start from of what you need to be working on. And again, we all have been there. We all make mistakes. And George said it in the comments as well, fail forward. The whole point of reflecting is to see what is and isn't working. I look, so my analogy to starting a business, especially for most of the people, because there's a lot of people that start a business that don't come from money, that don't come from a background of being able to sit with family members that talk about business or friends that talk about business all day. Most people, when they first start on this journey, like you're barely getting your toe wet, just hearing from bigger people. My analogy to it is like having a kid.
Exactly.
Nobody knows what they're doing when they have a kid. Nobody knows what to expect when they're having a kid. There's a lot of people that know how to raise their kids, but nobody knows how to raise your kid. There's no like true tribe blueprint of the exact this is what you have to do. Like my action step's going to be different from your action step.
Mm-hmm.
So the best that I can tell you is, hey, here's the foundation, and this is why I created Align. Is here's the foundation of what a successful business looks like internally. Now that you have that foundation, go take the
Mm.
action and go reflect and figure out what is and isn't working for you and your business model and how you can tweak that. So that way, there, when you reach your 5 year mark and you start wanting to scale and you want to start really automating it, you have proven stuff that needs to be done every single day that you can pass off to those people coming into your business, that without a doubt, hands down, you do this every day, the business will move forward. There's no guesswork anymore. You just did it for 5 years. You've done 5 years of rewriting and reflecting and figuring out what is working, what isn't working, what you're tweaking.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
another reason why I always say I consider a business a baby until the 5 year mark, and then I consider an infant until it hits the 10 year mark.
Exactly. And like this was this knowledge was really like diamond for me, and I
I
just
appreciate
got
that.
another. I got another opportunity to learn more things, brother. And thank you so much for all this. I really
Oh,
appreciate.
absolutely. Thank you for coming, man. Thank you for showing
Yes,
up. Thank you for being intentional.
yes, brother. And like for George, he also like hopped on our in between our conversation, and I really appreciate him as well.
Oh,
Thank you so much,
George is
George.
amazing. George is awesome. I'll let him know that you said thank you because I'll be talking to him again over these next couple of days. But no, George is awesome. So that's what you want to be striving for, is you want to strive for making connections like that. That's why, when we talked about it, it's important to go post and be intentional about who and what you're looking for, and creating those relationships. Um, George and I have been in the same community this entire time. It did what? I think going on over 3 years now at this point. We've been in the same community, but we've never communicated up until this past not even full year. I want to say it was like 9 months ago that we actually finally spoke for the first time. We jumped on a Zoom, and then we jumped on 3 more Zooms, and then we didn't speak for a couple months. And then we started texting, and then
Mm,
we started, supplying, providing resources to each other. And I'm helping his business, he's helping my business. Now he's somebody that I got to see trying to figure it out, growing, intentionally growing, and now he sits at the leadership table with me. Now he's not directly in my business, but and I took this from Maxwell is you want to develop a leadership table and you want to, whether it's your partners or whether it's other people that are up and coming, they don't have to be people that are at the top. So the whole point of having a leadership table is to be able to have conversations revolving around a lot of this stuff and to be able to create that space for the opportunity and potential to grow. But you want to start forming a leadership table. You want to start forming those people that are going to be those connections just like that. Those people that are going somewhere and those people that, because there's a give and take to everything. So that
Mhm.
leadership table is where you're going to apply your give and take.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
some more advice off topic for you.
Yeah, everything I talk to you, there is always a lot of value bombarded on my head. And
I
now
appreciate it.
I need always I need some time to just sit down and like rememorize all those things, whatever you told me,
Yeah,
to implement all those things. So that's a very pleasant experience for me, brother. Thank you so much.
yeah, absolutely. Write it down. Start to become obsessed with it.
Yes. I was yeah, this is what I was just writing there. Yes, I can't remember everything. I'm not that smart, so I need to put all these things ready for me.
That's
So
fine.
whenever,
That's why I record. That's why I use this black book. That's why I've got notes that are on the laptop. That's why my computer is completely flooded with memory from a lot of stuff. This
yeah,
notebook right here, this one's filled with a bunch of gems and nuggets over the last 2 years of my life from this. This notebook right
wow.
here, this is full of gems and nuggets from mentors that I follow and that I've paid for. So you're not alone, man. You're not alone.
And now I am in right place. What I believe. Yes. Brother, like last thing I would like to take your time for. Uh, I don't think it's a right way for asking this or not, but if you have any SOPs, a sample of SOPs for operational posts or like roles, uh, can I just take a look on those so I could implement and just tweak myself as well, like what
You mean
improvements or
the you mean the job description?
no, no, for not job description, SOPs and onboardings for the higher roles, like for directorial position or any of big operations, so they could handle the rest of the part.
Oh, so like
Because I know
our SOPs for bringing somebody into the business.
you can say, I'm not asking about your exact one because most of the time people have these things are confidential for the team and for the group, I believe. But if you
Bringing somebody. Oh, so you mean like if I put a job posting out there, somebody emails in um with their resume and their information, like what's the step by step process that we follow once I get that? I could tell you right
exact
now. I can tell you right now. I reach out to
so
them. I schedule a Zoom. We jump on a first round Zoom. I tell them the goals of the business, the values of the business, the culture of the business. I figure out what their goals are, what their values are. We have a little bit more of an in-depth conversation. I get to know them a little bit more. I treat it just like I'm speaking to a lender or a wholesaler or an agent or, prospective business partner or, a collaborative partner. I treat it the same exact way. So round one, it's not necessarily an interview, but figuring out who they are. If I
okay.
do determine like, okay, this person can fit, they check all of these boxes, like I can see them operating to the same values that we have within our business and the way that we want things to operate, and they have an understanding of the role. Like they know what they're coming into. Like I get I break it down to the point to where like I open up and tell like, hey, it we're all making commission. There's going to be months where there's no money coming in at all. I just want to make sure you understand that, like you're comfortable with that. Here's how much this person makes, this person makes, this person makes, this person makes. Like I lay it all on the table for them, what they're getting themselves into, and figure out how they react to all of that. If they check all those boxes, then we have a round two, and the entire team gets on a Zoom with them. Now, this is where we open up the questions back and forth. This gives that person a little bit of time to come up with questions that they want to bring to us. And then that allows the team to be able to bring their questions of, diving a little further deep. Where I sit on the visionary seat within our real estate business, the operations manager doesn't directly report to me. They
Hmm.
directly report to my partner, Jim. So why would I conduct the first round interview, all of the questions that Jim would ask without him being there? I just feel them out. Round one interview, figure out who they are, figure out their goals, figure out where they're going, and can they align? Round two, then we get on, we all discuss. From there, at the end of the Zoom, if we really like the person, we'll just throw it in the text there like, I love them, let's bring it on, let's bring them on, and then we move forward. If it's
So
not
well,
an
this
if it's not an instant yes from everybody right there, we discuss it in our next meeting. And then we move forward from there. When you're building your business out in the beginning, there is no more than that. If you're bringing somebody at a higher level seat in your business, there is no more than that. You have the conversation, you have the interviews, yes or no, you're bringing them in. Yes, they're a good fit in your business. They're already the expert on where you're putting them.
exactly. And what if like me, I am just alone. I don't have any support to like bring someone with me to come on the interviews. So what will I do? Like I am alone. I don't have any access or any partners to bring to take interview for them.
Sounds like there's only one answer, unless you contract out for HR services. There
That
are
or I would
companies that
start.
will
Yep.
do HR services and staffing services, you know, on a contract basis. But if you're by yourself, then you are the interviewer. There is no group interview because you are the group.
Yep.
Yes.
But
So
you
so
should be
like
focusing on that. You should be focusing on that. If you're going to focus on a higher level, and I tell people this all the time, honestly, I know quite a few people that could soar. They could soar in business if they were literally just doing what they're meant to be doing that aren't. And they start doubting themselves and they're like, I'm just not cut out for this, or I'm just wasting all this money over here and over there. And I'm trying to learn this and I'm trying to learn that. And I've had this conversation with people, and I've had to, like I asked you earlier, hey, do you see yourself as a visionary and integrator? If you see yourself really heavy as a visionary and you're having disconnects with understanding a lot of this stuff, it's perfectly fine to not be able to run a business alone. You should be looking for somebody that you can partner up with and then building something out from there. It's perfectly fine.
I tried that way as well, but like I'm just
How
sharing my
how
what brother.
intentionally though? How intentional were the posts that you put out? Did you let people know exactly what you're doing and what you're looking for, or was it a post that just said, "Hey, I would love to connect with people," or was it just a quick message like, "Hey, how you doing?" Was that the outreach that you were doing, or was it? Did you go put a post in a couple of the groups and say, "Hey," um, and I'm sorry, I don't want to pronounce it wrong. Is it Sheswat? Sheswat? Is that how you pronounce your name?
Yeah,
I
Shashwat.
Sashwat. I didn't want to say it wrong, so I do apologize. Hey,
Oh, awesome.
I'm Shaswat. I am a real estate investor. I'm out of the country, and I realize that I can't do this alone, and I'm looking for a partner, or I'm looking for somebody that I can work with. I sit in the visionary. I need somebody that's in a greater mindset. Now, nobody's going to think that because of, and remember, I told you before too, like I know somebody as well who's in Israel that's doing this as
Right.
well. She's doing
Yes.
fix and flip and buying properties here in the US. And her partner just moved over here from Israel. I do understand, because it's Facebook, that there's certain areas of the country that if somebody's in your messages, chances are they're going to try to start it starts with a hi, how are you, and then they start saying, oh, I can find you buyers, oh, I can pull you list of sellers, or oh, I can skip trace, or oh, I can make calls for you. Unfortunately, that's something that you do have to deal with that I don't in business. But if you're not letting people know what you're doing right from the beginning, that's what they're thinking when you're just messaging them, hey, how's it going? That's the immediate thought, and it's unfortunate, but that's how social media set that presence. So instead of, "Hey, how you doing?" or "I appreciate being able to talk to this person," or "I learned something," is, "Hey, I live here. I'm building a business. I'm a visionary. I need to speak to an integrator because I cannot do this myself." Now people know, "Oh, he's not messaging me to try to sell me, free list that he pulled online. He's not gonna try to pitch a list of buyers or a list of sellers to me. He's looking for a business partner." They know now.
Yeah, so this person, like whatever the integrator I am looking for as a visionary, so this person, like if they are coming up to partner with me, so they would be like how guaranteed they are gonna be integrator, or maybe they, if they are coming at my same level, they are also a kind of visionary, and they also don't want to apply all those things by their own. Then how to handle that?
You have to pick one. You can be both. You can be visionary with integrator tendencies. You can be integrator with visionary tendencies, but you have to pick one. You can't do both. Um, I've seen many people fail. I've failed myself because I've tried sitting in both seats. It's not recommended. Pick one and have the other person do the other. So when you're having these conversations with people, yeah, they might have visionary tendencies and be an integrator. That's great. That means you guys can talk more openly about wild ideas that you might have in the business, and they're not going to doubt you or, you know, be a pessimistic about it. That's great. But you have to pick a role and you have to sit in it. In our real estate business, we have Jim and myself both, and we had to sit down and have the hard conversation because I started out as systematic integrator and worked up to business level. Guess what Jim also did? He's an integrator. He's a systematic integrator that's trying to work up to business level integrator. Now he's done business level integration in the corporate world, but not as an entrepreneur yet because he hasn't been able to work up to that level. And both of us have very strong visionary tendencies. Me a little bit more, but we both have visionary tendencies as well. So we had to sit down and have the conversation. Like, we've taken things like the bull by the horn. We're setting up all these processes. We're getting all this stuff, but we can't be both. You have to be one, and I have to be one. So we need to have the
Hmm.
conversation. We need to figure that out.
So that partner would be responsible for doing all those formalities to go and hire someone higher position level role for.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. My job would be to just show like, hey, listen, this is what I am thinking. This is what I am gonna implement all those things. I need
Yep.
your help to implement all those things,
Yep.
and let's do something big.
Yep. Here's where I'm
So
looking to take this.
this is only.
Here's what the business looks like. Here's what we're going to need. They might see some other things that you don't see that you're going to need. It's the whole point of having a business level integrator in your organization, is because literally their role is to bridge the gap. There's going to be times where if you have a high level integrator where they're going to be like, yo, that's not going to work. You have to be willing to accept that as well. I call it that. Well, Maxwell
Okay.
calls it the hatchet committee. You need to have somebody that sometimes gives you
And
a hatchet committee, like a hatchet, because
oh,
they cut out those things that
yeah.
are unnecessary or non-realistic. Um, I I think of visionaries like if I see somebody that's like truly like I call it a whack job. I joke about it, but to me, that is what a true visionary looks like. Like this is somebody that's out there. Like they've got man, do they have some ideas? Man, do they have an amazing mind? Man, are they just spitting stuff out? Like that's a true, true visionary right there. But they need somebody to be like, hey, yeah, that one's not realistic, or that one will work, but not right now. Let's put that in the bank and let's continue building these processes out so we can get there. But yeah, that's what you would be looking to bring in. Like that
Hmm.
person would be the one literally bridging that entire gap for you. Be like, here's where I wanted to go. Here's what I wanted to look like. Here's what I think that we might need. And then that person like, yep, we definitely need that. But hey, we're also going to need this. We're going to need that. So I'm going to go start. If you want to help me get posts out, we'll send them to my email, and then I'll start interviewing people. I'll come back to you. I'll debrief you on the interview so that we can be on the same page. And if we both feel as though we can move forward with this, we'll move forward with it. I'll get them implemented into the system, whatever have you. And then you can continue to move the needle forward in other places. For you, it's going to be working on communication skills. It's going to be working on your presence. It's going to be working on relationships. It's going to be talking to higher level people that you can be filling your leadership table with.
Yeah, that's the whole point I was just trying to gather, you know. Now I got most of the part of my doubts.
That's why I say no doubts. You shouldn't have doubts. You
Yeah.
should just figure out how to figure it out. That's it. There isn't like it's possible. There's
Ye-
no completely impossible. But like I said, we've
Yes,
all of us have been there.
yes, definitely. Like most of the time, brother, honestly, I have got cheated with multiple times, and people used me because, like somewhere, I didn't share that with you, but earlier when I started, like 3 4 months back, I was just
Oh,
trying to gather because
yeah, you're a baby. My first year, you know how much money I lost out on because people would utilize my niceness and my willingness to give up resources and my willingness to make connections and then not make sure that I was still a part of that. You know how many deals I lost out on? I lost out on a lot of money my first year. You know how many partnerships, you know how many teams I've attempted to build up, and we paid for the systems out of our pocket. I never got paid back for it, and they just decided that they didn't necessarily want to commit to what they had to do to get things done, so they just quietly bounced out. That's part of business, man. That's part of life. Life's a revolving door. You're going to be dealing with that, unfortunately. Everybody goes through it and everybody deals with it. That's one of those things that it comes with the territory, especially in this. I mean, wholesaling in and of itself, there's so many shisty people out there that give wholesalers a bad name. And I know a lot of phenomenal people and phenomenal wholesalers. And I don't look at the wholesaling industry as it's a bad thing, but I speak to a lot of people that do look at it as it's a bad thing because they spoke to one shitbag, without talking to other people. That's just unfortunately life and what you're going to deal with navigating business. You can't let that hold you back.
yes, that actually made me a little bit skeptical of all those things. So, like, I decided to learn by my own and do the things by my own because
Dude,
I
You got a
can't control my feelings.
powerhouse. You got a powerhouse sitting in the Zoom right now. Dick Nicholas, dude, that guy's got a lot of knowledge.
How you guys doing?
How he doing, brother? He's got a
I'm good.
yeah, he's got a lot of knowledge, man. He could teach you a thing or two. That's why I said you're just not. You got to put yourself in the right rooms. You got to be talking to the right people. You got to be putting yourself out there. You got to be letting people know what you're doing. Because if you
Yes,
don't, you're missing all that opportunity.
I got these opportunities. I'm very proud of this. And like people like you, Timothy, and Dick, like these people are like most of the people like me are not going to able to visit you guys, but I have the chance to like sit with you. So it's a very
That's
great
fine.
opportunity for me. I really
I
appreciate.
I've known my business partners for 2 years and I still haven't met them in person yet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
hmm Yeah.
it's literally it's all in here. I'm telling you, man. It's all in here. Don't let that stuff
Question,
hold you back.
like, what business are you building? And what areas, like, what markets are you working in? Do you have
For real estate, or are you talking to Chef SWAT?
just what? Yeah,
Chef SWAT. Okay.
Uh, so, Timothy, I am from India, and like
right.
I am just 23 years old right now, and I'm just building virtual wholesaling teams because since last 5 months, 4 5 months, I am doing all virtually from here alone. But honestly, I didn't got any success due to like multiple things. But I don't want to stop myself there, and like that's fine. I couldn't do that good in that time, but I learned a lot. So I think now I need to move further, and like someone like a very good person who taught me three things. Like for every successful business, all you need is three things, like separation, separate, and delegate to elevate. These three things he taught me, and I was just understanding this as a base. So like if I want to create my own thing, I need to get knowledge from like people like you guys, because I don't have any experience. I'm completely new, and but I want to do a very big things. I my intention is to just like none as a landlord and build my portfolios there in USA, so I could fulfill my parents' dreams, my dreams. There are a lot of things. So, as per your question, I am looking for building a wholesale team.
You, one of the best ways to gain that experience is to join an existing team. And have you done that yet with any existing
Yes.
teams?
Yes, brother. I
Okay.
was in team, and like I had also like from few people were there in sub 2. I had also signed JV agreement with them because two of them were, and like me third person, and our contract was we will do everything, and we will split the profits 30 30 30, and like 10% for rainmakers who brings deals or like leads.
Yeah.
But after 7 or 8 days of consistent working, and I was doing multiple parts for them because I was thinking like I had not that good of accents, like American accents, to talk with people. So that's why I was not just involved in this part. But after 7 or 8 days, they stopped replying me, and like I was just begging with them, hey, why are you not listening me? What I did wrong? Because I was just thinking like this is the team, and like this is gonna help me. But after they cheated on me, and I know they are doing everything alone after our signed agreement, but I stopped following them because if people are not happy to work with you, then there is no any mean of any contracts or some anything.
Right. I'm guessing that you
Yes.
joined one of like Pace Morby's
No one left
challenges,
behind.
and that's how you got involved with the team.
Yeah,
Brain
no, no.
matters.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
These guys are already in sub 2. They are part of sub 2
So
team.
yeah,
I don't mean to cut you off, but this is why I tell you it's all in your mind. You joined the No One Left
Yes,
Behind challenge. Well, guess what? There's somebody else in the Zoom that was in the No One Left Behind challenge. There's also multiple people that I've spoken to over the last couple weeks, couple months that have been in a couple of the rounds of the No One Left Behind challenge. You're not the only one that went through that. So don't take that personally. It has nothing to do with you. There were a
yes,
lot of flaws in a lot of the teams in that challenge, unfortunately. So this is why I always tell you, dude, it's in the mind, man. Get out there and put yourself out there and be speaking to people. Um, I know, Dick and Chris were in the No One Left Behind challenge. I know multiple people that I talk. George, he was trying to coach, be one of the coaches in the No One Left Behind challenge. I know people that are, doing big things as well that were trying to get on buy boxes for people in the No One Left Behind challenge. So he made it a point to reach out and start asking people. And I asked him what his intent was, and he came back. He goes, out of all of the people I reached out to, only one person still has a team from No One Left Behind. Only one person.
Oh.
And he spoke to a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
of people.
So actually, I wasn't in the No One Left Behind challenge, but
Oh, you weren't in it?
I was able to build my entire company of people that were in the No One Left Behind challenge. Ethan Kuntz was in the No One Left Behind challenge, and now he's my partner. David Henley was in the No One Left Behind challenge, and now he's my partner.
Yeah, I've got to speak to
And we have
David, just not
several,
Ethan yet.
yeah, and we have several other people that were in that challenge as well. Most of them are wholesalers, but a couple transaction coordinators, and they're just like they don't know how to get in. They just don't know how to even start their business. Like without meeting you right now, James, or you, Mr. Kumar, or you, Timothy, or myself, how do they get started? They don't know, they don't know where to even start. And so everybody says, well, join a team. Well, joining it, it's easier said than done. Like, I mean, if we set on your market set, go join a team, I guarantee James and I, and probably Timothy too, would get on somebody else's team in a heartbeat just to prove that we could, right? Because we know how to do that. And so people aren't just going to invite you to their team unless they know what kind of value you're bringing to them. Like I can't call you right now and say, "Hey James, how can I bring value to you?" You're gonna say, "Well, Dick, I don't know. Tell me you can provide value to me." So I think these are how these conversations need to go. I need to call you guys up and say, "Hey, my name's Dick Nicholas. I teach people how to talk to people. I teach people how to ask good quality questions that
Yeah.
lead up to whether or not we're a good fit." Right? And by me telling you that, you can decide whether or not you want my help or services or not. I'll leave it up to you. Because what you're going to say is, "Yeah, Dick, that sounds amazing, loser, but I got to go. So, hey, I'll talk to you later." Or you're going to say, "Yeah, Dick, that is amazing. Do you have about another hour of time to talk right now? Because I'd love to record this." So we all need to know what we have, even if it's small. I mean, even if you might not know anything about real estate, but you know how to have a conversation. If you were raised with manners and respect, just having basic, dining manners at a dining table manners, respect and courtesy. Like, would you open the door for someone that's got their hands full of groceries, or they're elderly, or a woman, or women and children? If you have those kind of gentlemanly, I don't know what the word is, instilled in you, if you have those qualities, then you already have the basics for customer service, right? When you answer your telephone, do you say, "What do you want?" Or do you say, "Hello, how may I help you?" Or do you greet people openly? And do you have love in your heart? You know, so for me, it
100%.
starts with those things, and when I find the people that have those things, I can build from there.
Yep. Yeah, it's man, one of the biggest lessons I had to learn, especially from the beginning, is not just going out and saying, "Hey, I just want to get on a team," because then that's when you get the people like, "Okay, perfect. I need you to make some calls for me." You're like, "Well, what? I don't want a cold
Yeah.
call." Now instead, it's like, "Hey, I'm James, and I help people, lay the foundation of their business, understand how they're navigating and how they're going to get where they're trying to go, and I help them figure out how to implement their team effectively
Mhm.
versus, hey, I just want to talk to you about your team and see if I'm a fit." See the difference there? Like I came in, I was
Yeah.
clear, concise. I told them what I do. I, told them where my skill set lies. And then, like Dick said, people are like, yeah, no, I don't, I've already got a couple people on my team. I don't need to worry about that. And chances are I'll end up having a conversation with them in a couple months anyway. I usually do. But the latter of it is, again, yeah, all right, I need somebody that can do cold calls. And since you're a newbie and you didn't really tell me that you can do anything or you have any skills or, that you're a visionary or you can think of like these high level things and you understand where a business is going, I'm going to give you a list and you need to call 40 hours a week for me so we can get a deal.
Yes,
Yeah.
I like completely agree. I'm completely agree with that. And this is what people think, like uh, if you are reaching to someone for like adding value, it's not going like you are not fulfilling their requirement as per your own. Now they will decide like where they want to put you,
So
right?
Maxwell says something about that.
Yes.
If you don't develop your blueprint, if you don't develop your plan, someone else is going to do it for you. And chances are what they have planned for you is not much.
Yeah, it's not gonna
Hmm,
be what you want.
exactly.
I just went through learning that hard lesson on a higher level. So it definitely hits different when you're on a higher level and you go through that lesson. So like I said, man, 4 months, you're a baby. Soak in what these guys have to say. Soak it in, man.
Mhm.
So
If you can start to navigate effectively now,
Yes.
you'll speed track that a little bit. Sorry, Tim, I didn't mean to go ahead with that thought,
no,
brother.
I just wanted to make a specific offer. If you're interested, I do work with a team that does like uh wholesaling, and they've got a team of people. It's a standing team. It's not part of the challenges. It's its own separate team. Um, and I can make an introduction. It's not my team, so I can't say that they'll definitely invite you to join. But if you're interested in joining a team that finds leads and gets wholesale deals, then I can make an introduction for you. I put my email in the chat. Just give me an email and I will reach out and let them know that you're interested.
Yeah, I'd really love to explore. Like, I don't know actually what are these things, um, but I'm just sending my email address in the chat.
Okay. Yeah, I'll reach out
And
to the team and let them know you're interested. They're always interested in finding more people that can help find leads and then potentially get trained up to like actual closing.
so how this like how I'm going to find those leads? Do you have any idea like what type of
So
thing they are
Well, we
looking
pull
for?
lists using batch leads, and then we give some to people to just do cold calls. And then we also use prop.ai and LOI Blaster to automate it. So whichever one you feel more comfortable with, we can, we've got 3 different lanes basically that we work in for lead generation in that team.
mm, not only that, it's just one of the things that to interject that you didn't bring up that we spoke about is you spent some time underwriting as well
Yes.
and multifamily. So there's something that you have a skill that you can continue to develop and you can develop that on another team, but you have to mention that. You have to let them know that you have this skill set. Not only that, it doesn't confine you to, strictly to underwriting. Maybe, I don't know, maybe if they're looking for somebody on the dispo side, that could be an area. If you've got some communication skills, like, Dick was talking about, some, chivalry and some manners that are already there, and you understand what a deal looks like by looking at the underwriting because you've already done it, you can start on the disposition end, which will be helping
Yeah.
you continuously grow soft skills of yours with the communication and the building relationship, because that's what you're going to be doing on that side. You're going to be building relationships with buyers. You're going to be talking to people. You're going to be learning a sales process as well, a little bit more in depth, and building off of skills that you already have. So again, the importance of letting people know what skills you do have and what you do have understanding of, what you do know how to do, makes a world of a difference on what that conversation is going to look like when you get into that Zoomer on that call.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. I would love to do that. And most probably, just like what I think I may be wrong, but just generating leads from some software and giving them to someone. Uh, I don't think this is a kind of skill and adding any value to me.
That's
I may be wrong. I
that's
don't
why you
know.
talk about the underwriting and you talk about,
Right.
the relationship and the communication skills. Now you don't even have to think about pulling the lists and the cold calling, because you guys aren't going to have a conversation revolved around that. So that's here nor there now. That's out of the way. You don't even have to think about that anymore. Now you can start talking about the potential of underwriting or the potential of dispoing deals.
Mhm.
That's why it's important to be intentional when you are speaking to people and when you are reaching out. Be very intentional. Everything that we just spoke about for the last 20 minutes, that is literally why. Again, if you don't bring that up, you don't have that conversation, they put you into the lead generation. What happens 3 months from now when you're like, guys, like this is not, like I'm not doing anything that I wanted to do. I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not learning any new skills. Like now I'm stuck and stagnant, and they already filled the position for dispo that you could have been in at that point.
Yeah.
Now you got to,
Yeah.
go figure something else out and start again from scratch. Lead with it. Lead with who you are.
Yes. And I am very close to launching my company, and I'm going to do my business very soon. I need you guys, I need yours blessings and guidance. That's enough for me, and I'll definitely do that because uh, most probably uh, this is the thing. I got offers from multiple people whenever some friends of mine, they are also in shop too, and they are doing good, but whenever I try to reach them, or even they reach out, hey, I love you, you are very this kind of person, this kind of thing, I need your support. So I say, what kind of value I can add? They just said,
Don't.
oh, I was just looking for a VA and I want you to call whole day. This is value they are, and what I will say, like, brother, honestly, I can't do that because I'm not that kind of person. Like, I can do some fake promises like, hey, Timothy, James, Dick, I'm going to do that, and if I will not do that, it will hurt my soul. So
Yeah.
I am not that kind of
I
fake
would start.
promises.
You mind if I just call you Mr. Kumar? Mr. Kamar? Is it Kamar or Kumar?
Kumar.
Mr. Kumar. Okay. So the first thing that I typically ask people is, which one would you say you have more of, time or money? Which
I
one? I mean,
have
I'm
time.
basically asking you.
Hey,
You have more time than money? Then you need to devote your
Yes.
time to your business. If you have more money than time, then you can hire people to do these things for you. And now here's the thing. If you were to hire somebody to do it for you without knowing how to do it yourself, how do you know if they're doing a good job? And how do you know where your money's going? You're paying somebody really good money to do a good job for you, but you don't know if they're doing a good job or not because you don't know how to do their job. Right? So this is why we say to get on a team, join a team of other people, learn the different roles and the different positions inside a real estate business, and you'll see where you fit in. You're going to decide where you fit in. Your mind is probably going to change, and that's okay. People's buy boxes change. Like the amount of change that I've seen inside of the just sub two and the real estate folks that I've met in the last 2 years is incredible. I've never seen change like this ever before in anything else I've ever done. Like this one other time in my life, and that was when I played semi-pro rugby. The camaraderie here, the people's willingness to help you, you'll never find this anywhere else. You shouldn't even waste your time looking for it. These are your people. They're here right now for you at an odd hour, and they could be doing many other things. So then the next part of that isn't just which one do you have more of, time or money. The question then is time. What time is it there? Because it's now 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, for the most part in the whole United States. So now we can't really make calls to sellers anymore. So what time of day are you available to make calls, and how does that reflect in the United States? That's a question I'm pretty much
That's what
asking you directly.
Yeah,
Pardon?
it's almost 11 hours and 30 minutes of difference from my time zone. Here I have 4 morning, 8 a.m. and 4 minutes morning
Okay.
in India.
So, right. So are you going to be calling properties to purchase in India, or are you calling properties to purchase in, say, Florida, USA?
I'm working on working all virtually in USA right now because
Right.
Indian real
Virtually in
estate
the USA.
market is not
Okay.
that good.
Yeah. Those are the questions. Those are the things up and warmed up this time of night. And now the only place I can make a phone call is California, because I have to keep going. Have to keep calling farther west, chasing the sun, because I'm trying to get people that are still awake.
I've been down that rabbit hole too, man. Like, oof.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. In the
Gotta get
morning,
more calls in. Well, it's 10 o'clock in Maine and New Hampshire, so I can't call the East Coast, but I
No,
gotta get
man.
calls in because I gotta get deals going. So I'm calling California now because it's still, 6
Yeah.
o'clock there. So I get called. I've been down that rabbit hole.
Yeah,
But
James. I mean, if you want to coin a phrase for us, go for it, brother. But it's East Coast by morning and it's West Coast by night.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we've been there. But to piggyback too, and to double down on what was said earlier, like you said something that was very crucial and stuck out to me. Because I learned this lesson through having a conversation with somebody that I thought was at the time higher level. And you had said that you ask people how you can provide value to them, how you can help them. If I were to give any recommendation to anybody, let's circle back to what Maxwell said. You need to map out and you need to plan yourself out, or else other people are going to do it for you, and what they plan for you is not much. If
Right.
you're going to go ask somebody how you can add value to them, half the time they're not even listening to the skills and what you can do. They're going to start thinking about what they need in the immediate moment, and it doesn't matter what it is or if it aligns with you at all. But also on the flip side of that, if you're trying to speak to higher level people, which is where you should be, You always want to get into a room with a group of people that are, a couple steps ahead of you to a couple months ahead of you. But if you're asking questions like that on a call with a high performer or a high level individual, and you get on like, what value can I bring you? How can I help you? What can I do to make things happen in your business? You're now then projecting your financial problems onto them. Now you're basically saying to that person, like, hey, I'm having an issue and I can't figure shit out. Can you solve my problems for me?
Right.
So
Right.
there are those differences depending on the caliber of person that you're speaking to. So practicing now when you're speaking to people that aren't doing those big things yet, start practicing now, putting forward your skills, what you're doing, what you're working on, what your goals are. Put that out first before continuing the conversation with somebody about doing any work with them, because that's how you're going to have to be and navigate when you start really playing with the big dogs, because they don't want to hear somebody like, oh, what value can I bring you? Like their time is extremely valuable. They
Yeah, if you
don't
don't
have the
know,
time
how
to
the hell am I
leverage. Yeah,
supposed? If you don't know, honestly, how the hell am I
exactly.
supposed to know? Like,
And you know what?
I don't
I
know
had
what
somebody
you
say that,
do. I know
dude.
you
I
have,
had
James. I know you have.
I no, I had somebody say that to me once. Like I was talking to a lender and I was like, yeah, man, how can I help you? He goes, well, what was it? What was it that he said to me? Um, yeah, he's like, I can't figure that out for you. That's not my job. Go figure it out and come back. Like that's the exact response that I got from him. So like there's a difference when you really do start talking to those higher level people. And I apologize for the rant, Tim. I saw that your hand was raised.
I will say that there is a caveat, like Pace will talk about in connecting with people and doing networking. It's okay to ask them, what do you do and what do you need?
No, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
What do you
Asking
have?
them
What
what
do
that's
they
a
you
little
need
bit
is not asking what you can do for them. It's asking them what they need in
when you're
general.
Right.
connecting. Yeah. Yeah. When you're connecting, it's a
Yeah.
little bit different, like as a connector. But if you're reaching out to somebody and you want to work with them or you want to, hopefully partner up or do anything in business, that would I would lead with you and your strengths and your skills first. And then rather than like, what value can I bring you or how can I help? It's like, hey, do you have anything going on in your business right now that I would be able to align with? Did anything that I just said ring a bell to anything that you need in your business right now? No? Okay, perfectly fine. Uh, I'd love to stay in contact. I've got all of these connections. I talk to a bunch of, wonderful and amazing people. So now that I know what you're looking for, I don't have to mention that I'm going to bring them value. Like, I don't like bringing it up, but I'll go in the background. And as I'm talking to other people, because I'm doing the same thing, I'm connecting with people and seeing like how does what I do fit with them? And it's not going to with every person I speak to. So I'll stumble across somebody that I can't help, or there's nothing I can do, or there's nothing they can do for me. But now I remembered, oh shit, yeah, Dick was looking for somebody that's extremely like skilled in this. Now I can turn around and be like, okay, Tim, I think that you should have a conversation with Dick. Do you mind if I pass your phone number along, or would you like me to ask him if he wants me to pass his phone number on to you, or do you guys want me to facilitate a three-way call? How do we want that to look? Because now you
Mhm.
have two people that you just connected that are both now going to remember you, so that when they're having their conversations, they remember, oh yeah, Shaswat's like really good at underwriting, or um, he'd be really good for Dispo. So, Dick might go talk to 30 people this week. Tim might go talk to, another 30 people this week. And I can guarantee you out of those 60 people combined, there's probably going to be about 5 people that they can direct you to.
Yes.
It's a numbers
Oh, for
game.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is what, like you were talking about, just go and like partner with someone. What I see, like it's my personal opinion. There are only two things people view people as an employee or as an employer. You know,
Yeah, you're either a
it,
creator or a contributor.
yes. So if you are not like employer, you're not giving someone jobs, then you are definitely a employee for someone else.
Yep. And sometimes in the beginning, you have to be able to get where you want.
Yes. Yes,
Now,
exactly.
you can look at it a little bit differently because you can, like, if I were starting over, like completely,
Hmm.
ground zero, I still have all the knowledge, still have everything that I worked through. I can go and have a conversation with somebody, and yeah, it might not be as easy to put my own team together, but if I need to act quick and I need something to happen now, you bet your ass I'm going to be talking to people about joining a team until I get my shit figured out. But that conversation is going to look a little different. It's like, hey, here's my goal and where I'm going. This is the situation that I'm in. Here are my skills and where they can apply to your business. The way it sits right now is if we can align, I will allot 1 year to you and this team, and we can revisit the conversation at the end of at the end of that 1 year at where both of us are at if we make it through that duration. But if we don't agree to continue at the end of the year, I'm going to go, and at that time I should be in the position to build my business up again.
Yes, that
Mm.
makes sense. Uh,
You know,
you know,
business, life, and real estate is crazy because you can be as creative as you want to be, and you can do things that you didn't even think that you could do. All you have to do is have a conversation. And it applies to stupid things too. Like I found out recently that you can actually get terms on an assignment fee. I had no idea,
Yeah.
but I asked. And then since I asked one person, guess what I started noticing? It's kind of like that, when you notice it, you see it everywhere. I started noticing emails that are coming in where wholesalers are even offering the potential to finance the assignment fee if it makes the numbers work for buyers. I had no goddamn idea that. Mind you, I was wholesaling for 2 years and I didn't even know you could do that. It wasn't until I became a buyer that I even was like, "Oh, that's a thing." You can get creative with
Hmm.
everything. Everything.
yes,
Go ahead, Tim.
Mhm. Yes, you can. That's what makes this fun.
Exactly, dude. I say it every Zoom. Business is fun. Business is fun. Doesn't matter how chaotic it can get. It's fun. But if you can open yourself up, you can put yourself out there and have conversations. You'll be doing over these next couple of years, man. You'll be doing things that you never even would have dreamed of or thought were possible. I can I can guarantee.
Yep.
yes. Like these lessons are like very precious to me. Whatever I got, and like somewhere people mostly delegate some task to anyone just to either they are helping them to earn more money or they are providing them free times. That's why people hire someone to do any task, right? Either for making money, more money, or either for releasing some time so they could do some another thing.
And sorry, are you saying like so if you have a business owner that is delegating something off, are you saying is that so that they can make more money or they can free up more time for themselves? I just want to make sure I
Yes,
understood the question correctly.
yes, yes.
It's more time.
Mm.
It's more time because when you're in a position that you're able to start delegating stuff off, chances are you're not focused on how to make the next buck, how to get another paycheck, because you're already in the position where like that's not necessarily a factor. So when you start delegating, if you're talking from the higher level, like, hey, I have a business built out, I'm sitting in one of those top seats. I need to start getting rid of stuff because I have so much on my plate. I can't go build more connections. I can't make the decisions the way that I was making. If I just, Jim and I just had a conversation the other day. to where we were bogged down on things. I'm like, dude, these last 2 weeks, I have not been able to make decisions the same way I was for the last couple months. Something's got to fucking change. I got to get rid of something that I'm doing. I gotta free that time back up. Like I put more on the plate. Now I gotta free some of that time back up. I gotta get rid of some of these things. That's why you start delegating. If you do it the right way and if you're doing it correctly. And that's what creates a leader as opposed to a boss. But when I delegate, I'm not just delegating to delegate. I'm not going to say, yo, come into my business because I need a caller and I'm going to give you a list to call. I'm going to look for somebody that wants to do that or has an interest in doing that or wants to craft some sort of skill and they can craft that skill by doing that. That's the person that I'm going to delegate that to. So now I'm getting time back and somebody else is developing a skill.
Yeah, so it goes back to what Timothy had said earlier. There's no point in trying to learn how to do all of these things. There's at least 8 different hats inside of any one of these real estate companies. Even if you're just wholesaling, there's 8 different hats inside of a wholesale company. And so why would you want to spend the time and money and aggravation right now learning how to do 8 different jobs when you could just team up with a guy like Timothy, get on a team? They're going to interview you and figure out where you fit in the easiest, where it's the simplest for you to implement the skills that you currently have and the abilities that you're just naturally equipped with right now today. And so that's the fastest way to get you going immediately, because everything you don't know, you don't need to know, right?
Yep.
Timothy's team and his people, they know it for you.
Yep.
So what you'll do then is, once you hand off, it's like that race in the Olympics when the guy has the stick and he hands it to the other guy.
Oh, we lost Nick.
Terrible time to lose this connection.
Bro, he'll probably be back in a minute.
He was
But-
talking about the relay race, and I guess he's passing the
Yeah.
baton on to you now. So
Passing the baton. But the same thing is going to apply when you start to get, larger in the business. So as you start to step more into a leadership role, you want to be a business owner, that you got to become resourceful, because there's going to be a ton of shit in the business world. There's way too much for you to try. Real estate alone, there's way too much for you to try to sit there and learn all of it. I don't know one person that knows every single in and out of the entire industry. It's impossible. If they do, they're an alien. I know Pace knows a lot, but there's also some things that he doesn't know at the same time. It's the same for everybody else. The same thing with me. There's a lot that I do know, but there's a lot that I don't. Now you can start to become resourceful. So marketing, not my thing. I have somebody that does that. I have a resource. Underwriting, that's my favorite story to tell people when I talk about like becoming resourceful and understanding that you don't have to know everything. I brought an underwriter on into my business. I can't analyze a deal worth a damn. I've tried. I've spent time, earlier on in the wholesaling trying to grasp it. And even though I'm an integrator, I just can't. Great with sheets, great with numbers, can't analyze a property. Too many unknown variables that my brain does not like when trying to underwrite. So I brought an underwriter on. Well, my underwriter came to me one day and said, hey, I'm second guessing my numbers. I'm like, well, this is what I brought you on for. This is not my thing. So I'm faced with 2 choices. I can either go spend 30 hours and try to learn how to underwrite that property for that exit strategy, lose 30 hours of my time, come back, micromanage him, or the latter was I sent a 30-second text to somebody that I know that's a goat at underwriting. He's amazing at underwriting, and connected them. Saved myself 30 hours. I utilized a resource from somebody I know and trust that understands something that I don't completely, linked him in, and now my underwriter's off doing his thing. And right now I'm actually working on automating my system even more, because every decision that we make and every improvement that we make isn't to better my time right now, it's to better my team's time, because that's what's going to give me my time back later on. Because the quicker I can move my team up, the quicker I can move myself out. So now the rebuild in the system, I'm removing even having to do sniff tests on the underwriting. I'm utilizing AI and I've built out and I'm still tweaking, building out my system so that it does a deal score and a quick an analysis of the deal when it comes in, and it gives me the negatives and it gives me the positives, and then I can automate feedback to the wholesaler as well, based off of the parameters of my buy box and the parameters that came in on the deal. So now I don't need a sniff test underwriter anymore, which is the position that this guy is that I linked up with Jim initially. So I provided a resource for him to learn. But I also know he wants to become a leader in the underwriting space. So guess what's going to happen? This gets automated. I remove him from having to do the mundane stuff by just quickly looking at a deal and say, yeah, it looks good, passing it to a deep dive underwriter. I'm eliminating that position completely from my business, giving him back all of his time to hone in on deep dive analysis on the property so he can move up and start to become a leader. And then guess what he's going to be doing? He's going to be the direct report for the underwriting portion of our business as he crafts these skills out. And then that frees up Jim's time because now Jim doesn't have to go look over the properties again, even after they go through a deep dive analyze, just to make sure that they really do pencil out the way that, these people in our team said that they do. Now he can pull back bigger and better things, which means I can pull back because now I'm not supporting him as much. So it kind of goes up the rung.
Yeah. Uh, like this is a Jim you are talking about. He's your partner now.
Yeah. That's the crazy part. That's conversation, leading with skill, leading with who you are, what you can do, what you cannot do. I've
Yes.
known Jim for a while. We've had a couple conversations over the couple years. We were both wholesaling for a long time. We've never spoke about becoming partners or anything. I just so happened to, he was a resource. Somebody in my business needed a resource. He was able to be that resource. Well, when I went to check in with him, like, hey, how's my underwriting doing to your standards? Because I trust you and I know you're going to give me actual feedback and let me know, like, hey, he's absolute dog shit and he's not picking it up, or oh no, he's doing great and I can trust your opinion. We got to talking a little bit more after that as our catch up for not speaking for months. And I found out he was having bottlenecks in his business. I was having bottlenecks in our business. And the crazy part was the bottlenecks that he had, my business had the solutions to. The bottlenecks I was having in my business, his business had the solutions to. And then we're like, hey, I got a crazy idea. How about we go into a dating phase and we work together
Gets
for a little bit and we start crushing this? And then once we did start combining our meetings together, we, combined the teams and we really started going through this and we started developing and refining the processes faster and faster and faster. We're like, hey, we're so good at this together. Why don't we just full merge? And then boom, now we're business partners.
Yeah. Like your thoughts and your like goals you found in someone like you found like, hey, this is the guy uh, who is like able to partner with me, like he have those kind of skills, and he's a good person, like
Yeah.
first of all.
Our goals aligned, our values aligned, everything checked the box.
Yes.
That's why
So
we went through the dating phase. You're going to go through a dating phase. You don't have to marry. Partnership is like a marriage.
yes,
So
and you need to be
I mean that,
very smart.
yeah, I mean that
You
through
need
and through.
exactly.
You're going to go through the dating phase. And then once you fully commit, you're going to have arguments. You guys are going to go to bed mad at each other. You're going to wake up and kiss and make up. You're going to move forward. Like everything about a partnership is similar to a marriage. Um, you have to find the right people that align and the people that you're willing to go through the bullshit with.
Yes, and I was just one day I was just sitting there and tried to visualize everything. I was just thinking and entrepreneurship is not that hard. Like it's way more easy as compared to being an employee and doing some for someone else. All the
Alex Alex Hermosi says it the best. One of my all-time favorite lines is, "It's simple, not easy." It's very simple.
yes.
It's
And
just hard work.
and the thing you said me in like our earlier Zoom meeting when me and you were there. So you told me like there are people why people don't choose this path because they just don't want this kind of burden. Like there are a lot of responsibilities in this game.
Yep.
They
And
just
you can
want
prove
to
it
be
that way.
free. They just
You
want
can
to be that free, like, hey, I'm just going, this is just, I need to do this. Like, I'm a cold caller. I just have to do cold calls and I am done.
Yeah, that's
They,
exactly it.
they don't want burden. But if
Yep.
you will see like as an entrepreneur, I have saw multiple people. Like few of them are like multi-millionaire, and I had a good conversation with them. He's making over like 20-30 million every single year. He's a very like rich person. I saw him. I never talked to him about all those things, but I was noticing like he never do anything by their own. Like he is partner of at least like 100 companies right now. But he have a tons of time. He don't have to do anything. He have automated all those things. You know. So
He has
like
or other people have. You,
exactly.
you, you literally can't do it. All right, Tim,
Yeah.
appreciate you being here, brother. Okay, you literally can't do it alone. My, do you have direct access to this person?
Like me?
Yeah, like you can have a conversation with him. You can talk to him.
No, no. Like
No,
I was
okay.
just listening. I was just like listening him. I am noticing what he owns, what he does, and uh, like most of the time, what I realized, this kind of people uh, don't share their real gems and what they have capability to do. Like they know
They
everything
don't.
about
Yeah, they.
business.
You want to know why they don't?
What?
Do you want to know why they don't share those gems? No,
Yes,
do you really
because
want
I
to know
think
why? And you might disagree with me at first, but think about this. Haley and I just had a conversation about this the other day, and I've spoken to other people as well. There's a lot of people that dog on the rich. Don't get me wrong, I dislike some of the extremely rich and extremely wealthy people, but not because they have money, just because they're a shitty person. If you were to go literally reach out, so the problem for me, in my opinion, between the poor and the rich, most of the poor that talk shit about the rich, they either one, don't have the balls to reach out to them and ask them questions, or two, maybe they have reached out to somebody that has money. Maybe not like as much money as the person that you're talking about, but they know somebody that's well off and they make a lot of money and like, how do you do it? Like, I want to do that. If you, and this is why mentors exist. This is why coaches exist and things like that. Now, I'm not talking about like the small time they just pump and dump. They just want to grab some money. True coaches, true mentors, and things like that. This is why they exist, and this is why programs cost money. Because again, you either have time or money to leverage. Now, you in your
definitely.
position, if you were to reach out to somebody who is in that spot that you want to be, it's not that they don't want to teach you; it's they value their time, which means they will there's a potential that they will teach you, but it's going to be on their terms, not yours. And the average person is not comfortable with doing something on somebody else's terms if it means even if it means getting them ahead.
Hmm.
And
Well,
I say
and you
this.
You're
Go ahead.
absolutely right, James. I'm sorry. Keep going.
And I say this because, and I'll reflect back because, Dick, this is something that we share being in the community. I've spoken to a couple people that did the day with Pace, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people got to go out and fly in a plane. They got to do all this really fun shit, this really cool shit. They spent money on a plane ticket to go out there to do it, right? And then they came back. What did they get out of that?
They were excited. It's like going to Disneyland and hanging out with Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. They met Mickey Mouse and they met Donald Duck, and that's it.
Can I give you the perspective of another person that I spoke to?
Sure.
That did the day with Pace? They weren't as happy. They went out to do the day with Pace, and they were like, I went out there and I was with them for, 6 hours, and we were in the New Reach office all day, and I had to sit in while he was on calls and he went on the podcast. I'm like, are you kidding me? I was like, if I had a day with Pace, that's exactly what I would want my day with Pace to look like. I would want
I'd
to
be
see
loving it. I'd be sitting up front. I'd be smiling. I'd be asking questions. I'd be trying to get in on those phone calls and conversations.
But that's what I mean. Most people that are in this, like a lower position, and they look at somebody in a higher position and they want to learn from them, they just don't want to do it on that person's terms, unfortunately.
That's crazy.
Like I said, man, I would be ecstatic. Like if I won a day with Pace and it was 6 hours of sitting in New Reach office or watching him in meetings, I'd bring 3 notebooks with me and about 30 pens to make sure that I don't run out of paper and ink.
It's literally been your bucket list for years.
But other people will complain about that because it's not on they don't want to do it on somebody else's terms, and that's what it is. I went to the Aspire tour out in Dallas. The person that I was sitting next to the whole time, I had no idea who I was sitting next to. Turns out he was a pro athlete. He was a retired professional football player, right?
Yeah, you never know, right?
You want to know the difference between he and I and everybody that was sitting in our section?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yes.
When the sales pitch came for another event, 90% of the people in the stadium stood up, pulled their cards out, and ran to the fucking kiosks. You want to know what the higher level individuals did that were sitting there?
Ran to the stage.
Yeah, ran up front to the stage, go talk to the speakers. I don't know.
No, because the speakers were
pull out your
still,
credit card
the speakers
and
were
just
still
sign
talking.
up from your seat.
The speakers were still talking. They were dropping gems in value. I got some of my best notes during those pitches, some of the best advice, because everybody else was so worried about jumping up and putting their card in the kiosk to get into a room with them that they think is going to be a one-on-one, which I hate to break it to you, but it's not. The actual valuable people that were sitting there were still in their seats taking notes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my one-on-one time, and when that time comes, they're gonna come to me. I'm not gonna be going to them. It's just
that's where I'm at, brother. I told you I got a big dream and a big goal for all of this. Actually, I reached out to David. Still have to have a follow-up with him and see. I know you guys were gonna have a conversation about Scout, so I'd like to further some of those conversations. But I'm dropping the Align program this upcoming month, and I've got big goals. Like it's going to be years in the making, and it's going to be a lot of people involved, but this is going to be a movement. It's going to be more than a movement. This is going to be up there, honestly, with Sub 2. And I want to go so fucking big that Pace reaches out to me to have a conversation about a collaboration.
right.
Let us know what we can do.
Yep. Let me know what I can do to help. I feel the same. It's gonna happen no matter what. I mean, because I'm taking these people that are forklift drivers or computer programmers or contract, all these different walks of life and skill levels, and what I put together just gives them the ability to make a phone call and say, "Hi, my name's Dick Nicholas. I'm calling because of this address you guys have here. Are you the person in charge? You're the king of the castle there, right? Like it's so simple, the steps of the system of conversation.
Yeah.
And but it's not easy, but there's simple steps. You just have to follow the steps and do the work. You know, you can't, man, you
It's
know,
not.
I'm
it's
excited about it.
exciting, but now I feel like I'm preaching to the damn choir. It's you and me, you know what I mean? Kumar, what's
like-
up? How much yeah, where you at, man? Like how where are you at with acquisitions, I should say? Like, are you able to make a call to a stranger and talk to them about their houses? Have you ever done that yet?
Uh, like when I call people in USA, like you guys know me where I am from, and most probably when I am going to reach directly to sellers, they are directly assuming me like, hey, this is a scammer calling from another country.
Do you
My
follow up?
accents,
Do you follow up?
I have tried sometimes.
You tried text campaign.
You've
Now, have
reached
you
back
tried
out, you've
texting?
texted,
Have you tried
you've
text
emailed.
campaigns?
No, I haven't tried text campaigns.
I would try text campaigns. And then here's another question. ¿Habla español? Do you
What?
speak Spanish?
No, I speak Indian language, which is Hindi, and English like this.
Okay. So it's all about how you're trying to acquire. Like I have a little hack that I use, and James, feel free to teach people and tell people this. I have a hack that I use to teach people how to generate inbound leads for yourself. So you're not actually making cold calls to strangers and it's not uncomfortable. You're not asking them to buy their house. I know how to create them calling you and asking you to be their buyer, right? And they don't ask you, they don't say, hey, Kumar, be my buyer. What they say is, oh, so the house has 7 beds and 6 baths and blah, blah, blah. They just start telling you about how great they think the house is, right? Well, whenever they stop talking, that's when you say, well, why are you selling it? What year was it built? What's the timeline? How fast do you need it to be sold by? What is your asking price again, right? You're going through, you're getting your 4 pillars. Now, all you really have to do after that, Kumar, is get the damn email. And now you actually have a sellable hot lead. If you bring me a lead with all 4 pillars and the email, that's hot. Especially if I can look at the address and comp it, and I know, you know, if I can get a feel for the value of the property. Well, it's warm. It's warm or it's hot. I guess it depends on who you are. To me, it's hot because I would have just closed them. I would have made a creative offer right there on the
Because
phone.
you're a closer, so to you it's hot. To
Yeah,
other people it would be warm.
right. Some people might even be cold, James. They just got the info, but
Yeah. No, some
yeah.
people, yeah.
How do you generate this? How do you generate these inbound leads?
One more time.
How do you generate?
How do you generate them? So I
Yes.
guess Kumar, I really want to help you here, and I think this is probably the best way for you to do this. Go on Facebook Marketplace,
Oh,
and in your search bar, put in the search bar, house for sale by owner, owner financing, and just see what populates. And if you don't find anything populate there, move your location to somewhere else. The
what
only
do you mean
thing
by
I ask,
popular?
pardon me,
You just said if you don't see anything populate.
move the location on your Facebook marketplace. Have you ever bought or sold anything on Facebook before?
No,
Okay, well
I have tried to put.
you're able
Yeah,
to
yeah, please
pick
go
the
ahead.
area on the map. You can pick where you do this. So yeah, I mean,
Just because you know.
right. So I mean you can use San Antonio, Texas, because we actually have friends and know people that are buying there, and we're not currently hunting there today. But like, so put San Antonio, Texas,
What's James has a buy box?
or ask James what his buy box is. You're right here with a guy. You know,
Right.
James
Yeah.
is buying. Ask James what his buy box is,
I
and
have
then
his
put
buy
that in your
box.
marketplace, right? And just say to them, I'm interested, and leave your phone number. Do that 10 times. If you do that 10 times every day, I guarantee you tomorrow you're going to have 4 to 5 people calling you, wanting you to be their buyer.
Not only that, if you were to reach out to somebody like me with a deal like that and say, even on market, we'll buy on market deals too. We're
Yep.
not, we're not picky. One of the
Well,
tricks
that's
that
not
I like to use with inbound, if you want to talk about inbound for on market, I like to play a little reverse psychology with agents. Go
yeah.
look for a listing. Call the agent from that listing. Don't do what everybody else does and say, hey, I want to call you about 123 Main Street. It's like, hey, my partner and I, we're investing, we're looking at a property over in that area, and we want to start building our portfolio out. Then when you give them what you're looking for, give them similar information to their listed property. And then one of two things ends up happening. One, and this has worked every time, they've called me back 2 days later, and guess what property they told me that they think that I might like? The target property that I was already looking at. Or
Right.
if you do get an agent who isn't stingy and likes working with other agents in the area, they have a software that they can actually go and they can put notes in, they can put calls in, they can put requests in, and it pings all of the agents in that area. So I've even
Oh.
had agents call me because they spoke to another agent, or they had another agent that reached, put out into the system that they had a hot buyer looking for something. And they've told me about the property that they had. And then those two agents worked out a deal on their end with the commission. So it was no additional anything that was added to the cost of the listing on my end.
So it's
So
like a
there's,
bump. They bumped you.
yeah, yeah. So there's ways that you can get creative, and you learn to start talking to people in a certain way. And it's almost like, you'll find too, especially if you want to work on understanding how to close. I always tell people, if you want to get good at business, start to get good at sales. Start
Yeah,
to get good at
sales and
sales
marketing.
because you're going to use that. Okay. And think of, like, when you're building your business out, think of a funnel. Like, you're literally just building a physical funnel for money. I digress on that. um, but when you learn to start or speaking to those people a different way, you can completely turn it around. And that's, like Dick said earlier, it's fun. Business is fun, man. You get creative and go have fun, and you learn and you figure things out, and you learn how to navigate a little bit differently than other people.
Yes.
You
So,
have to.
have a doubt. Like when hiring for any position, uh, like if you after giving the job description and they will reply back to you, first of all, you don't have that much of time, free time. So like let's suppose you got 50 applicants and you don't have, definitely you are not going to spend that much of time to give take 50 interviews. So most people, what they do, they use some kind of indices or some kind of assessments in between them to just filter the good ones, right? Based on some
Mm,
behavioral assessments or something like that.
I have a
So
different opinion than most people would have on that, and I can give you the job description and the post that Haley and Jeff put out for the position in our business, so you can see, like, and when I give it to you, really read it and try to understand exactly what's going on in there. Because if, again, I go back to intentionality. And if you think like 50 applicants is too much for you to handle and you don't want to be interviewing 50 people, then you need to target a little bit better. So the post that we put out, I only spoke to 3 people I hired, the first person I spoke to, because it was so intentional. All of the details were there, exactly what we were looking for, exactly what we were not looking for, who this was not a good fit for. What did they have to do? What did they not? All the details were there. And it was clear. So I didn't have people reaching out to me just because they wanted to work in a business. I had one out of the handful of people that actually reached out to that posting was like, dude, why the did you even send me an email to like what you're describing to me about yourself does not reflect what I'm looking for at all. But hey, people are going to shoot a shot. But at the same time, instead of that 50 people, it was narrowed down to so I had 10 people reach out in total, and I had 5 people that I actually did a first round interview with. Laser focus, man, intention.
Yes. And I need to learn this art because in my post I want to because most people don't even read your all job description. They just find this is role, and even they are not eligible for that. They don't have those skills. They'll just like blasting their mails to everyone. Hey, I am this wrong. This is my resume. This is my resume. So like that's why I was asking, like the way you said, like you are more intentional about your posts and you are just filtering them out, like at that initial position, you are just filtering them out.
It
And
doesn't take much
after
time to
reading your
actually it doesn't take much time to actually read because they don't the right people aren't going to oversell themselves. So again, remember I told you I had 10 people send an email. I interviewed 5. I hired 1. Out of the 10 emails, the reason I narrowed it down to 5 is because 5 of the emails, the body of the email was this long. And then I opened up and I was like, nah, I don't even know if I want to look at this resume. So I did. I opened the resume and it was all fluff. So they're indicators. You can understand if somebody's like really trying to oversell themselves, chances are they're not who you're looking for.
Hmm,
If
exactly.
somebody can, if somebody could reach out to me, I had the same thing. I had, one of the people was just like, hey, I'm interested. It's like, I didn't even bother responding. But if you're putting something out, you're really intentional, you're laser focused, you get that out, and then you have, let's say you have 20 that come in, and then you look at the length of the emails and the 10 of the shortest emails you look, and they're able to give you the most amount of details about themselves that are direct to the point. Those are the people that you should be talking to.
Oh, so like there are a lot of shiny objects I need to avoid. Like they are making
Yep.
big description about their
Yep.
achievements, right?
I told you.
I need to
Yeah, like I
avoid
said,
them.
dude, some of the emails that I didn't respond to at all, they literally sent me a goddamn book in the email. And I was like,
Yes,
nope,
and I'll copy
nope.
paste.
Because it tells me one of two things. They either had ChatGPT write it out or they're trying to oversell themselves and they're overcompensating. That's not what I want. That tells me that you can't communicate effectively either. So why would I want to put that in my business?
Exactly. So like I would love to take a look on that thing you were talking about, brother. Please.
Yeah, I'll get it from Haley's in bed right now because
Oh,
it is late on our end, but I'll get it from her in I have the job description, but I can get the post from her in the morning. I know she's got a copy saved somewhere.
oh, like I really appreciate, and I think like it's too late for you. It would be definitely 10, near about 10 or 10:30 for you.
10:30. Yeah.
Brother, like I'm very sorry for that. Taking you guys are you guys give me insane amount of value, I can't
Listen,
thank that.
I've it's part of being an entrepreneur. I've been on meetings till 2 o'clock in the morning before. It ain't the first time.
Yeah.
Oh, like I am
James,
very
James, what part of the country are you in, James?
I'm in southern New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. Okay.
stern time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then our
Hmm.
next, once we're able to do it, we have 2 goals. I want to get a Class A, and we're going to travel because I can do everything that I do remote. But we're going to end up getting a place either in Arizona or Florida.
You're gonna shift there with your family?
Yep, my wife and the little guy. If we go out to Arizona, we don't have family out there. If we go down to Florida, we both have some family down there. So
Oh,
we'll see when the time comes.
We did the Florida thing. We're going to Arizona next.
Well,
so do you guys?
you got to meet up with Jim when you're out there.
Mullenix?
Labella? No, Labella.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and the other Jim. Yeah, the other Jim.
He's my partner.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, he's my business partner.
Jim.
Jim Mullinex is a solid dude too. He was telling me about when he biked from Maine to Florida. I was like, dude, you're ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like bicycle, not motorcycle, bicycle.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. But no, he's a solid dude. He's man, he's a GHL genius. I know I'm good, but geez, yeah.
Yeah.
How did you find him? Like brother James, I do realize at this time most people are showing you said like the word they are overselling them. Most of the people at this time are doing the same thing. Like they are not that appropriate and that eligible, but they wanna pretend themselves like no one can be better than them. And in this tough market, finding those people like whatever you are talking about, James, your partner, is a very rare thing.
Yeah. That's who I try to strive to surround myself with. Like I know that there's a lot of things that I can't do and there's a lot of things that I don't know. And I'm comfortable and I'm okay with that. I won't ever tell you that I can do something that I can't do just because I want to form a relationship with it, a relationship there. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. I'm never going to change from who I am and what I do for anybody. Like that's just me.
Definitely.
Well,
You
so
don't.
James, I held a firm standpoint in that position myself, but then all of a sudden I found you don't have that choice all the time. Like I'm not an integrator. I'm a visionary. I'm a cold calling motherfucker. I'll go knock on a stranger's door right now, get him to the dining table, close him, and sign a contract. But what I'm not gonna do well is function and navigate a computer screen and comp this thing down to the doorknob. I'm not that guy. And so
I'm a
like,
high level integrator, but I can't analyze deals.
yeah, like bro, I don't even know where to find a contract. I don't know where to find a contract. But I tell you what I'm going to tell them is somebody on my team does, and they're going to be
Exactly.
reaching out to you very shortly here. So thank you for your time and high five through the phone, right? Congratulations,
I do the same thing with sellers. I've done the same thing with agents. Shit, I did the same thing with this property that we bought. We were direct to seller on it. I can't answer that. I don't know. Somebody from my team can.
Now,
Well, I just like to talk to them real quick.
James, though
I'll call you back.
I can admit though it became a major bottleneck, and it made me not really want to work today because I lost a couple deals yesterday because the day before I needed my team to send out like 7 or 8 LOIs and they didn't get sent out. So then what happened was I just go ahead and call my sellers back, do some follow up, and they sold them to somebody else. because we didn't email them our LOIs.
Have you had a conversation with your team yet?
No, because it's,
About
I
that?
don't want, I'm not, I have to handle that
I
gracefully, and I
understand
don't
the
know.
emotional regulation. So
Yeah, I don't know if I have that grace in me today to
is
do
this
that yet,
out?
so we're putting it off.
Is this out of the norm? Like,
Yeah,
is
yeah,
this?
yeah,
It is like
it
this
is,
doesn't
yeah.
happen. Like usually they're on point, and it was just this time it didn't happen, or does this happen all the time?
They kind of set me up to tell me that they were going to need me to pull a little extra weight and blah, 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 and I needed to work harder. So I did. And I mean, I closed 8 people. 7 of
What
them
are,
were all the
what are
way
you guys
100%
using?
closed.
But there was
What,
a
Buy
miss.
my house. They're like, please
what are you
buy my
guys
house.
using
I'm
for
like,
a
fuck
CRM?
yeah. Talking
What
about
are you guys using?
$100,000, $100 to $150,000 spreads of profit. Like, what?
What are you
Okay,
guys
but the
using for a CRM?
miscommunication was in what weight you were supposed to be
So
pulling.
David Henley put together our CRM, and
What software?
I don't know.
Is it Go High Level?
I think it is Go High Level.
You want to know something crazy and something that you should talk to them about? You
They
can
don't have a
automate sending.
format.
What happened?
You can automate sending an LOI.
We can automate it.
You can
Yeah.
automate it. You
Right.
can
I have
So
heard
he
of
can go in. He can go in and he can set up custom values in the opportunity or in the contact card, and then he can set up an email template that calls on those fields. And if you're sitting there with and Chris wants to jump on the laptop or the computer or even the phone and go in and update the contact while you're on the phone with them, just filling those numbers out real quick. And then maybe you set the automation up as a tag. So like you tag them, send LOI, it'll automatically populate those numbers into the email, the LOI template, and email it directly to the seller for you.
well, that's pretty much what I need, bro. I mean, oh my God, that sounds amazing.
But that's what I'm saying. If you're focusing on things that you're not supposed to be focusing on in the business, how do you allow yourself to have the room to breathe to even think about things like that?
Oh no, oh my God, yeah, yeah, no.
Or
And
even
so,
bringing up the question like, hey, is there a way that we can automate that? Okay, great.
so
Well, you're the integrator. Why don't you figure out what you can figure out and come back and let me know? And if you can't, I know a couple of integrators I can go talk to and ask if it's even a thing. And then maybe you have a conversation with me. I'm like, dude, it's totally a thing. And then you come back like, yo, James said it's a thing. You need to get in there and get it done. Like, so that's kind of how that works if you're positioning yourself in a high level seat in the business. And if you're positioning yourself as a visionary, that is your weight in the business.
so
yeah,
as
so
a
I mean,
visionary, all you have to do for a creative ways you can provide value to your business, right?
Yeah. To your business and your team. You figure out the resources that you have, the connections and the people that you know. If you have an idea in the business and your integrator is kind of lacking, well, then you don't have a business level integrator, to be honest, at least not yet. You have an operational integrator or a systematic integrator. Chances are, if they can't operate or build out the CRM, then you don't have an architectural systematic, you just have an operational integrator. You need to start figuring out how you can implement a business level integrator. So that way there you and the business level integrator can tag team the resources that you guys have to bring this information back to where it's like, now you don't have to go in and sit there and try to figure out how to utilize your CRM or your system, but you know somebody that could at least give you an answer to say that something's possible so you can bring it back. And then if your team can't figure it out on themselves, well, guess what? You have a resource. You have somebody that like, hey, my team's struggling with this. Would you mind giving them like a half an hour and just giving them a quick rundown? And if it was me, I'd be like, yeah, dude, I'll jump on with them for like a half an hour. I'll give them a quick overview. I'll consult them on how to get this done. And then you can go on doing the shit that you're meant to do. Like that's your whole job. That is your weight of the business. I don't mean to yell or sound like a dick, but I'm very passionate about like people like you got to understand your roles and you got to stay and stick to your role and not veer away from it. And if the question of like the weight, then you guys have to revisit and have that conversation about what your roles are in the business, like what seats you sit in. And if you sit on the visionary seat of the business, dude, that's your fucking weight. That's your role. That's what you're supposed to be doing for the business. If they want to argue with that, I'm sorry, but move on and find somebody else. As harsh as it sounds, these are the lessons that I've learned in business more so over the last year than anything else.
Yeah, so like let's suppose if you have hired like a higher level uh, operation manager or director, right? Now their responsibility is to maintain all those CRMs or pipelines, whatever it is. So right now, if I don't have access to all those CRM, what would be your suggestion? Like I'll ask them or I will order them to do to manage all those things on the paper or on the chart, whatever it is, on softwares.
You can literally just go and when you tailor like your post that you're looking for somebody, look for somebody that has a system and they feel like they're not really going anywhere in their business and they feel like they're doing way too much. And if they're comfortable with staying in the system, then that's somebody that you can work with because now you've got the system. And then now you can go create opportunity for both you and that person. You can have conversations with Dick, and Dick can teach you how to get leads into the business and things like that. You can JV with him. Now you've got somebody, you've got a system, he's got somebody, he's got systems, and maybe there's things that you're still lacking within your business at the moment, and you
Mm.
can JV with him on those deals.
I'll teach you, man.
Yes.
Systems.
No, I can't teach you systems that I don't have or that I don't know personally. But what I can teach you is the 369 system. So a system of conversation and a system
Vibe
of a
system.
successful day. And that's about it. But it's mine, it's coined, and we're publishing a book about it, and it's a sales training that I teach and all my people on my team and inside of my company and business. It was just
I know I'm
basic system
excited.
of
I'm excited for
conversation
that development.
and a system of a successful day. And so you can look at this system after every conversation and you'll see where you could improve that conversation. You can look at the system at the end of every day and you'll see where you could have improved your day. And it's a proven system. So, I mean, I've proved that it works with many, many different companies already. But yeah, so
So
to
like
me, I mean, you're not quite sure where to start, what to do. The best thing for you to do right now, I'm suggesting, is to text 10 people. I'm interested. I'll buy your house. And then they're gonna call you, and you're gonna have conversations with them. Some of them are gonna be agents. Some of them aren't gonna be agents. Some are gonna be homeowners. But until you start to have those real life conversations with real people that are selling a house, you don't know which way you want to go. You don't know what you want to do. You got to learn how to talk to those people. And whether or not you have to learn how to perfect talking to them or not, that we can determine that later. But I think you should at least try speaking to those people just to see how it goes for you. What do you think about that?
like this is a kind of coaching you like you provide. And for softwares and systems, like we have master of these systems sitting in front of us.
So
James Jigar.
that's not what I coach right now. It'll be things that do get implemented in. So again, I started out as an architectural systematic integrator, and I worked my way within business all the way up to the business level. And I spent a lot of time on the back end figuring out what systems do and don't work. And I don't mean systems as in software, I mean within business. So that's what I coach and what I teach. What I coach and teach is how to lay out the foundation, build the foundation of your business, how you can implement a team, how you can then implement employees. And then once you go through that, you have the know-how. Now you turn around to places like Sub2 and other places that are basically just big resources that you have to learn how to leverage and utilize. You now understand how to leverage those resources to do what you want to do. My goal and my big vision for all of this is in the future having collaborations with people like Dick. I'm actually working on something with Creighton right now too. Is not bring them in like under the umbrella and say, "Hey Dick, why don't you come into my program?" It's, "Hey Dick, I just coached and trained 30 new businesses these past 2 months, and now that they're on the portion where they're bringing people in and they're bringing in the sales team and shit like that. Now they need training on that. I know you have a program. Now we collaborate and boom, that just created a resource. So now he's going to make money in his program because I just provided that resource over to the people that I just already helped them build their business out. Now those are the pieces that they need. So now I'm not going and learning everything that Dick does. Now it's going to be the
Exactly.
same thing on the architectural integrator. I will have there will be courses, there will be things for like all levels of integration, but on the systematic and architectural, that changes. As technology changes, like things change from time to time. I can't tell you how many different CRMs I've used and learned from ground up in the back end. Multiple. It changes. It's going to change in business. You're going to switch your platforms. You're going to switch your software that you're using over the years a few times in business. As you scale, as you develop, as your business gets bigger, as you start doing multiple businesses, you're going to be switching systems. You're going to be using different systems for each business. So it's ever evolving.
Yes.
There's things, because I haven't done it in so long and I've only stuck with Go High Level and kept up with that. There's going to be things in softwares that they're obsolete. What I know is obsolete because they've evolved and become better. So now I can pair up with people that are systematic integrators, which, by the way, are some of the most introverted people you'll ever meet. So these are people that aren't confident enough to go out and put their own programs, put their program together on their own terms and things like that. And I can come in and be like, "Hey, I've got this thing. I've got these people. This is some shit that they need. Their teams need training. Like you've got developers and all of this. Why don't you put this together and
Bro,
let's collaborate and fucking grow this thing?"
like
That's my
James,
big picture for all of this.
that's basically, brother, what I'm telling you. I have David Henley is that computer software engineer integrator blah blah guy, right? And I found him, and he is more beyond it, and he's a sweetheart. I love him dearly. But I gave him the 369 system, and now I mean he just kept hanging around the barber shop every day. You know what I'm saying? So finally, I was like, David, you want to just partner with me, and if you like doing this, let's just keep doing it. And so yeah, here we are. Um, I don't know. I think right now I'm waiting on some JV agreements from them to keep going with our scouting thing and all the training. But
At this
yeah,
time,
We need
uh,
more team building.
James, if you are creative and resourceful, you can have access to everything in the world, whatever you don't have. Right?
oh
Do
yeah,
you
for
agree?
sure.
Yep.
So
Yep.
if you're creative and resourceful.
Now, a
Yeah.
lot of it depends on comes to the person that you are as well. I lead with service, and I am relationship driven, which means where I'm going to be making my money off of this passion project and everything like that is going to end up being just my main business, and then any kickbacks that I get through, you know, the resources. But on the flip side, I'm also going to be offering that as well to other people, so they're going to be getting kickbacks as well. So think of Creighton. Dick, I think you know who Creighton is, right? Creighton Bertrand.
Creighton, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So he's a high performance coach. I'm not a high performance coach. He can elaborate a little bit more. So he can take the people, like when they go through my program, he can take them and break them down on the emotional level and like really kick them in the ass to get going and actually do the thing that they learn. Yeah. In my, you know, because in my view, like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force them to drink. Creighton comes in to
Right.
be the guy to force them to take the first sip. So there's a collaboration that can work there. So instead of him coming under my umbrella and me going under his umbrella, we're going to be basically merging following. So like we'll end up doing podcasts together. We're going to do some webinars together. We're going to do some lives together. He's not going to come in and teach anybody inside my program. They're two separate programs with two separate focuses. So a lot of people don't understand what a collaboration is when you start reaching high level. It's not like a collection of everybody else's thing and put it into my thing. It's a collection of all these people have these things. Now, how the hell do we all work together and make sure all of our families are fed? You know, there's a difference when you look at it from that point of view. So the whole conversation that Creighton and I had came from that angle. It's like, you got a family, I got a family, the families need to be fed. You got a following, I got a following. This is what you do, this is what I do. I don't do anything that pertains to what you do. You don't do anything that pertains to what I do. We know each other from this level. We've brought each other value. Now, how do we continue that? How do we start, you know, kickstart this into something that's super fucking kick ass, and we set this model and everybody else is going to want to come over. Okay, great. Why don't we do webinars together? Why don't we do lives together? Why don't we, you know, share marketing a little bit? You know, if anybody's over here, like if they're not ready for me, or they came into my field because they think this is what I do and it turns out I don't, well, boom, there you go. I can send them to you, and then vice versa. So that's how it works. Now there's going to be an imbalance, and this is where a lot of people trip up, because I'm in it for the longevity. I'm in it for the big picture, which means if I have people that come in and like 3 out of the 5 people are more suited for Creighton, I'm gladly going to give him that 3 out of those 5 people. And I'm not going to look at it as my loss, because multiple things are going to end up stemming from that. He's going to continue to feed people over, or it's going to end up being one of those situations like what I explained with Dick when he gets his program like really up and running. I'm going to have people that go through my program, they're going to need him. I'm basically setting people up to need the service that he offers. So if he sends people my way and they go through my program, it's going to bounce right back. He's going to get those people right back because they need that service. So that's what you want to start looking at. Like, that's where I look and I see when I think of collaborating with bigger and better people that are doing bigger things. It's not like, hey, I want you to come in and I want you to film 6 videos to put into my program, and I want you to come in and teach in one of my cohorts. It's, hey, I have this thing. This is what I do. This is what you do. The service that you provide, my people are going to need it. And then there's people that come in my sphere that aren't ready for me yet, or they don't even need me, but they do need your service. And that's going to happen vice versa. Look at Pace and Jamil.
Yeah.
Pace and Jamil are in real estate. They teach 2 different things. They teach a lot of the same thing with 1 step removed. That's the genius of it. There's just one step of a difference. Jamil only
What is
focuses
that?
on direct to agent.
Oh,
They do meetups together. They do podcasts together. They do webinars together. They do lives together. They also share audience. There's a lot of people that are in both programs. There's a lot of people that go to one, but buy products and services from the other. And then vice versa. There's a lot of people that go to the other, but then buy products and services from the other.
Yes. And like Jamil Damzi's course is like astro flipping, I think, his course.
Hmm. But in order to be high level, you got to start thinking high level, which means you got to watch those people. And again,
Yes.
what I've been able to learn from those people, it wasn't on my terms. I had to pay 10 fucking grand to be able to actually get in on the inner circle to really watch and get that information and see how things are done.
Hmm. And then you decided yourself as a buy and hold instead of wholesaling, right?
Yeah. Wholesaling was never what I wanted to do. I did
But
it
it is
because I
good
thought I
for,
had to at the time. But I don't knock it because there's people that do like wholesaling. They do want to wholesale. Again, I know people that have built wholesale operations that are really successful, and that's all they want to do. They don't want to own properties. That's perfectly fine. One of the
but I
bolt-ons that
see,
we're adding to our business is a wholesaler that does not want to acquire properties. He does not want a portfolio. He just wants to wholesale.
and I see it as a ladder. Like for a certain amount of time, if you don't have enough money, you can do wholesaling, but then you need to switch to, like, if you want a kind of generational wealth and always money. What I look as
Depends on your
wholesaling is
goals.
always money only. But
It
if
it
you have
depends. It depends on your goals. It's a business. You're building a business. They're just two different businesses. So if you get into real
yeah,
estate and you want to buy and hold, and I'm not trying to sway you or change your mind. If you get into real estate and you want to buy and hold, and then you go wholesale, most people that end up like the actual successful people, the people that are actually building portfolios, picked wholesaling right away. There's a lot of people that did go in, they did make money, they were smart as shit. They were able to get money quick and they were able to get out of it and they were able to scale. Most of the buy and hold investors that I know personally removed wholesaling completely. Me personally, when I got into sub two, I set a goal that I was going to own a duplex in a year. I was just going to wholesale so that I can afford to get that duplex. Well, that year came and went and I didn't have a goddamn duplex. And then I continued wholesaling for another year. Then when I started the buy and hold business, we were like, yeah, we got this. Like, we know everything we're doing. We, did wholesaling for 2 years. We know the ins and the outs. Like, we understand the whole process. And you know what happened when we locked up a contract? It's completely fucking different than wholesaling. We didn't learn
mm,
any of that. We spent 2 years not learning any of that. So I spent 2 years focusing on a business that I didn't even want to do. It, it, that's why I said it depends on your goals.
yes.
If your goals are to acquire properties, the 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 partners that I mentioned that are from Israel that started buying properties over here in the U.S. They didn't wholesale. They went straight to buying properties. Elena Bartosh, look at her, dude. She's fucking soaring and making things happen. She came from Ukraine. She knew right away she did not want to wholesale. She wanted to buy properties. So she went, she got into a program, she learned exactly that, and that's the business that she built.
And like most people say, we can enter in any deals without investing our own money, like using gators or all private money lenders. So do these people
Mm,
who are
buy and hold.
outside of,
You
yes,
can.
for
If
buy
you're
and hold.
buying, you can. It's not as easy as they let it off to be. And we definitely learned that lesson. That's another thing that we learned. When you're buying properties and you go talk to a lender, they don't give a shit about how many deals you wholesaled. That means nothing for credibility for a lender when you want to buy a property because it's a completely different thing. Yeah, you can flip a contract, but have you performed on a property in a portfolio yet? Those are two different levels of credibility. We learned that the hard way. So we thought we were going to get 100% funding going into a property. And then as soon as they're like, oh, this is your first deal. Yeah, no, we're only going to fund 80%. After you do 3 deals, then we'll fund 100%.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
like
3 deals through the same lender too.
Yep.
oh, so like for
Now a
first.
PMP is different. If you find a
Right.
private money partner, then yes, they'll fund it because that's the whole point of a private money partner. But you got to source the deal. You got to do all the work. And then a private money partner is usually a silent partner. They just want to park their money and get a return on it without having to do anything, which means you have to
Oh,
have a business that's actually built out to be able to handle having a property or a portfolio, because you've got to make sure that your business is taking care of everything. Private money partner comes in, parks their money, and the only thing that they should really hear from you is seeing that email come in. Unless you guys are doing multiple deals together and you become friends and go party and drink if you drink, or have lunch and dinner. But private money partner is completely different. They just want to park their funds, hands off, passive income. Then you can get 100% funding with none of your own money. But other
oh,
aspects that you have to look at, if you're going to be a cash buyer and you're using hard money lender, you need to have good credit when you want to, do a cash out refi to pay that lender out. Or if you want to get a DSCR, you need to have good credit, or you need to have somebody that trusts you enough to credit sponsor for you. So there are caveats to it. And there are things that you're going to have to learn and understand. And again, depending on your goals, you're not going to learn that while you're wholesaling. You're not going to really actually learn that until you're either talking to somebody that's buying properties, or you're trying to buy properties yourself.
oh, like whatever my goal, I need to take action towards those things.
Yep. Intentional
Yes,
action towards your goals.
exactly. Like I'm just looking wholesaling as a like today's thing. Like now I need to make some solid base for me, so I need that. And then after, because my goal is not to have just a wholesaler. I need a like wealth,
Then you shouldn't.
wealth.
Then you shouldn't build. Then you shouldn't build a wholesale business. You should go. You should go to a team that's already there, and you should work in that team. If that's the route that you're going, your goal is to buy and hold, and you need to do the wholesaling because of your personal situation or anything like that. There's no shame in fucking hustling and making money. Go find a team that's developed. Don't build a wholesale business if you don't intend to follow through with having a wholesale
No,
business
it's too
for a
much
while.
work.
Yeah.
It's too
You're
much
building a
work, and
whole nother business.
there's no point because that's
If
not
you're
your
actually,
Can't.
intention anyway. So don't waste your time trying to do it. That's actually one of the hardest things to do here is to build a complete company with all the hats and all the positions filled.
yeah, especially wholesale, it's easier to build a buy and hold business than it is to build a wholesale business, because there's so much more work involved in a wholesale business that a lot of people don't want to fucking do. And they figure that
No,
out
right.
real quick when they get over here.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
And
you're comping 10 times as many properties. You're sending out 10 times as many LOIs. You're fishing for that good deal instead of that one house that you can
Yeah.
actually get into and do some work on.
If you're just
Sweat.
starting out, you're cold calling 40 to 60 hours a week. If you're a closer, you're
Yeah.
a lot of the times you're following up with people multiple times. So there's a lot of things that you got to track and understand and know what you're doing.
Well, there's only two ways of getting that equity that's not ours, gentlemen. And it's sweat equity or what's the other one? Hustle equity.
Yep.
Getting the seller to reduce their price, you can buy it right in the first place. So you
Now,
gotta
if
hustle as
you
much equity as you can, and then you gotta sweat the rest of it off, and that's how you do it.
now what does get interesting, if you're on a team where you develop a wholesale business or team, again, you can get creative, and business is fun. You can be a wholesaler and you can get equity on doors, and you can get small pieces of ownership of properties that you can collect to actually build up over time via the buyer, but you're going to have to forego something like your assignment fee. Or if you have
Mhm.
a team, things that you're going to have to keep in mind is how much of the assignment fee can you forego? Because you still got to make sure your team is also getting paid, making money. But that's one way that you can do it. If your end goal is to buy and hold, that's the quickest way to build credibility when you switch over and you want to go full force into actually buying properties, because now you have equity in performing properties. So I'm game plan for you that I would tell you is I would go look I would look for a team. I'd be talking to people like Dick or Timothy, or even George. I'd start talking to people like that, figure out where you can fit in on a developed team, have an open conversation. If money's the issue that you're trying to solve right now, hustle to make money. And then when money's not the issue, forego your payments to negotiate a very, very small percent of equity into the deal when it gets assigned to a buyer to start building your credibility early.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and along with that, it is also possible to keep like if I get some property and I want to hold that instead of wholesaling, so I can do that as well. So
Find
this way
somebody to
you are.
partner. Find somebody to
Mhm.
partner with you. But I promise you, you don't want to focus on two things at the same time.
Yeah, it may be some more troubleful, right?
Yep. Because you're gonna, if you do it that route, and I've been that route too, you're gonna try to make every deal work as a buy for you, and you're gonna lose out on a lot of opportunity, and you're gonna waste a lot of time.
No.
Yeah, my company's bottlenecking right now, and I mean, it's so frustrating. I can't even tell you because so it's like, let's say you're going on a fishing trip for 3 days. For this fishing trip, you have to catch fish or you're gonna starve to death and die, right?
The one that got the boats like, you know what,
And
fun.
and you're going, and all of a sudden it's day 3, it's the last day, and finally you're ready to start reeling in fish. Every time you throw your line out there, a big fish is coming in, but somebody cut the net, and now your net is just letting all the fish go right through it.
Hmm.
That's the best way I can explain it because the bottleneck for us was we need this thing to get thoroughly comped and or just send the LOI to the person, tell them that we want to buy it for that price. This way they can calm down and stop looking for a buyer. Well, that didn't happen. And so the next morning, I'm calling these people, telling them that I'm having trouble with the computer and sending the contracts. And they're like, yeah, that's okay, Dick. Don't worry about it. We sold it like an hour ago this morning. I'm like, what? And then every
Yeah.
call I make down the line, that's exactly what happened, one after another after another. Because the
Yeah.
night before, I didn't send out all those LOIs. So it's frustrating for me because I'm trying to, this is my company. I'm trying to build this company, you know? And
Yeah.
we
So how
still
can you
need
make your
more
system
employees. We
efficient?
still need more people. But I believe that you should listen to James and get a hold of that gentleman that's invited you to work with his team and his company and see how it is. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Yep. And when you're in the position that you're in, you got to go for the gain. Go for the
Yeah.
gain.
Yep. 100%.
I'm just like everything. I'm just trying to summarize all those things in my mind and looking to come up with the right exact position. What I'm because definitely I am going to build the team, you know, but the problem I'll not say it as a problem. These are challenges, you know. These are challenges to deal with
Yeah.
multiple things like as per my goals, as per my dreams, as per my situation, I need to tackle everything at the same time. So that's why I'm coming up with something that that could like provide me all those things. And building team is not that hard, but I should have that proper skill set to run all those things. And that's what I am hustling for.
You
Uh,
should you should either have the skill to do it, or you should have people in your corner that you trust that could advise, that could be a resource.
yes.
Um,
And
like I said, man, the
yeah.
game plan's laid out for you. I understand you're 23. I only have 10 years on you. It doesn't seem like much, but a lot happens in 10 years. If I was in your position, because the way that you're thinking about it right now, you're about to make a lot of the same mistakes that I made. Probably a lot of the same mistakes that Dick made. And Chris, because I know she's in the background
God
listening.
damn it. James, I'm like 17 years older than you are.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm 30. Yeah, I'm 32. I'll be 33 in June.
Okay, so that's I'm 40. How old am I on? 47.
Oh,
Yeah,
Son of
I
a
like
bitch.
James. Are you born in June?
Yep,
On which date?
the 11th.
Oh, I'm on 24.
Haley's on the 14th. We're born the same year, 3 days apart. Yeah, I
Oh
didn't give him
yeah.
that.
So
Um,
I'm
but the way
I'm
that you're thinking right now, you're setting yourself up to make the same exact mistakes that we all made getting up to this point. You have I know
Yep.
you have the dreams and you have the goals, but you got to break them down. You can't work on multiple things at once and expect to be successful from the beginning. You need to build, you can't go all in like that without having all of the knowledge that you need, nor having the resources. Because again, Dick hit the nail on the head. You either have time or money. Those are the two biggest things that you have to leverage. And right now, you have time.
Hmm.
Leverage somebody else's money. And that's more like that goes way deeper than just finding a private money partner. If you can find somebody that has a team set up, that has a system that is usable that you can plug into, you're leveraging, Dick said sweat equity earlier. That's basically sweat equity. Like you're coming in, they're already paying for the systems and all that. You're coming in and you're putting the work in.
Mhm.
Then you don't have to worry about any financial obligation of actually building a business because it costs money, man. It costs money. There is no such thing as starting a business without any money. It's either yours or somebody else's. And if you don't have it, you got to figure out who does. And if it's somebody else with a team that you can plug into, so you can get yourself to the points where you can, you know, actually start working on building your business out, and you can start putting a little bit of funds in there, which would be the first thing I would invest when that money comes in. Don't get your first check and go party and, go buy a bunch of random stuff. Start investing that in yourself as it's coming in. Make sure you're taking care of the bills, but anything that's left over where you are right now at 23 years old, you should be investing all of it as it's coming in.
God, to be
It's the best
22.
thing you can do for yourself.
Yes. And yeah, these are the true life lessons I am getting here. And you guys have already surpassed all those things. So like it's challenging for me, but I think uh, for like buy and hold, as you told, like if you are looking for any private money lender, you have for first few deals you need to put your 20% on every single one. Like they are not gonna pay more than 80%. So
A majority of them,
that's
no,
why,
unless it's a private money partner, but those are even harder to find.
Yes.
So yeah, if you find a lender, you still have to have money coming into it. Or you got to go find another lender that's going to be able to carry that. Now you got two lenders, and good luck trying to find lenders that want to be third position on a property, because usually if you're getting, going and getting a property, you're getting hard money or one PML on it. It's a creative deal, which probably already has a first position, if not a second. So you might have issues for most properties, even finding the first lender to come in third. And at that point, if you got to fork up 20% and need to go find another lender, there's no way in hell you're finding a private money lender that'll come in fourth position.
Yeah.
Like we could go through this shit all day, brother. I'm telling you. You're about to go start making the same mistakes that we're telling you not to, that we've already been through and done. And it's not to be
Yeah.
big-headed. It's because we want to see you succeed. It's the whole reason why we're doing this. It's the whole reason I have the Zooms. Whole reason I'm building my program. It's the whole reason Dick's building his.
Exactly. And like brother, this getting these values are like really insane for me. And yeah, I can't give that much thanks to you, like, and you guys who give me this kind of knowledge and things.
You know what you can
I,
give
I
me? You know what you can give me?
yeah. What?
Your success. You can listen to what we're telling you.
Yes,
Go figure your
definitely,
stuff
brother.
out. Start generating some income for yourself. And then start investing in yourself, and then build out the business that you want to build out and be successful. That's what you can do for me.
And
Who
definitely,
knows?
brother. Like
Who knows? You're
this,
gonna end up, maybe you come back and you're gonna need need sales training within your business, and you're gonna need somebody that can actually work with you to actually help you build out the business when that time comes and you're able to afford it, and you invest in both of our programs so that you can invest in our systems to be able to do it. That's just how the
exactly.
world
I'm
works,
doing,
man.
and I'm doing this for and like, brother, I took a lot of your time, and like I would like to say, I'm just uh, I'm going to like uh, how do I say, like, my father is going on duty, so I'm just going to bring him to the vehicle on my
No
bike.
worries. Reach out to Tim in the next couple of days. Reach out to Tim and
Yeah.
have that conversation.
Yeah, you can reach out to me too, man. I mean,
Reach out,
Tim
yeah.
offered to you first, and it sounds like Tim's got he's got everything put together for you already. But I mean, I'll give you some one-on-one time, some one-on-one training, just basic acquisitions. And I'm sorry, what did you say?
We're non-exclusive.
Yeah, my hun said they will help you with dispo too. We're not exclusive, so you can always work with us.
Would
Send
you
me a
guys
friend.
would you guys be here for like 5 or 10 minutes more? Or
I'm gonna get going because I do have to get up early to take the little guy to school.
yeah, I understand
Um,
it. It's like late night for you, brother, and I'm very sorry for that. I'm just going
yeah,
to leave him.
stop apologizing.
Mm,
Like I said, reach out to Tim, reach out to Dick, have those conversations, sit down, get true with yourself, and figure out what you need to start doing tomorrow to put yourself in the path, and dude, stray away from the mistakes that we're telling you to avoid.
Yes, brother, and I'll reach you out. Thank you so much. I am just
Yeah,
going to drive by bike. Thank you so much, both of
absolutely,
you, Vic and James.
absolutely. You
Send me
enjoy
a
your
friend
Friday, man.
request.